Hello, Internet, and welcome to Saturday Nights. Thank you for joining us here today. We got a full house, and a Wild Ryan appears for our session here this afternoon. But before we get into the game itself, thank you for joining us. We got a bunch of stuff going on, so I'm just gonna power on through all of that and get through our announcements as fast as I possibly can. So we have coming up over this next week on Monday, we have our next installment of Motley Mondays. Alex is going to be running a one shot for us on Monday, and I have no idea what's in store, but I'm sure it'll be as nuts as everything else has been so far. So that'll be at 8:00 Eastern time on Monday night. Tuesday we will have a special installment of Matcha Pony. I will not be here, so Savannah will be playing solo. I still want to rebrand it as Matra Lonely. Savannah keeps telling me to shut up.
I want to rebrand it as Matra Finally Some Time to Myself, but you don't do that either. So,
we'll workshop it. We'll see on Tuesday for that. But that'll get started at some point in the afternoon. I don't know what time you're planning on getting going.
I'm not sure.
Yeah, so stay tuned for announcements on that sometime in the afternoon on Tuesday. Wednesday, we will have the next, the continuing adventures of Lindsay on Wednesday, playing some BioShock Infinite, and doing her thing starting at 8:30 Eastern time. On Thursday of this week, Morgan, are you gonna do a craft night this week, or do you think you're gonna? I know you got a lot of stuff going on.
I'm going to a high school review.
Oh, that's fun. We will not have a craft nights this Thursday. Hopefully we'll have something else in its spot, but if not, you will catch us again on Saturday for next Saturday nights. I think that pretty much goes through everything that will be or is going on this week. If you missed anything over the last week, head over to our YouTube and look for everything there. Or if you're a subscriber, check out our VODs, access to subscribers only. I think that's it. I don't think I missed anything. So let's go ahead and... Oh, yeah, giveaway. So we have our giveaway going on right now. We are giving away a copy of Baldur's Gate: Descent into Avernus. We just hit 250 followers here on Twitch. So we will also be giving away a copy of, or a set of the to Descent into Avernus dice and miscellany set. It has dice and miscellany, and all sorts of good stuff. But it's all themed with the Descent to Avernus expansion that's coming out. So enter for a chance to win. We are going to be doing the drawing on July 6th during this game. You can enter by going over to our Twitter, following the link there. There's lots of ways for you to get as many entries as you can, but hurry up because time is running out. And if we hit 300 followers before the giveaway ends or concludes, we will be also including a set of minis from the Icons of the Realm set that is also themed with the Descent to Avernus 5th edition expansion. So you can find details on all of that over on our Twitch or Twitter, also Game Nights. I think that's it now. I've covered everything. If not, I'm moving on and I'll get it on the back nine. So picking up where we left off last time on Saturday nights, we our heroes, our party, our adventurers, concluded their delve or their journey into the ancient ruins of the Whispering ruins of the West Timber in Ishfornen, searching for an axe, or the head of an axe that Chad had discovered earlier in your adventure. You fought some trees whose bark was worse than their bite, or no, bite worse than bark, I think. In that case, you killed a dragonleaf tree that had been magically sort of implanted here to protect this grove, and wrested the crystalline axe blade from its trunk, rejoining the two halves of the weapon. Chad, you received a vision of some sort of castle structure on a lake, surrounded by these like blizzards surrounding it. Not knowing exactly where that was, you decided to continue on your initial deal with your companion Matthias, the drow warlock, who needed to report back to the city of Gwildun and collect his reward for dealing with the Umbra Hawkers, promising you all your portion of the reward as well. As you rounded sort of the last few hours of travel to Gwildun, you were attacked a few miles outside the city by some orc brigands. You're able to defeat them fairly handily, and set a warning for any others that might attempt such attacks again. And I think that's where we left off, hopping back on your wagon and continuing your journey towards the city. So where I'm going to pick up here today is about a couple hours travel after the conclusion of the events of the last session. As you exit the eastern edges of the forest and catch your first view of the city of Gwildun, which I think we had established that, Chad, you might have been here before. The rest of you probably never having traveled this far south. But what you see in front of you in a section of the forest that has been cleared away and pushed back to provide some room for farmsteads and other community and farming and trade outside the city, you see a rather strange sight ahead of you. There is a wooden palisade, and almost the entirety of this city appears to be constructed from the wood of the West Timber itself. A spiked wooden palisade surrounds a rather large city ahead of you, maybe not on the same scale as Glon Bala, where you have come from, but still impressive nonetheless. Which catches you off guard, or maybe that if you hadn't been expecting it, is the city's height, the vertical aspect of it. The whole city appears to be erected on scaffolding, almost like a city-sized deer blind of sorts. There are wooden buildings and structures that are built on top of each other to this three-tiered effect, and at the top of which there is a beacon burning at its pinnacle that can be seen from miles around. And you caught that probably on your last little bit of travel, a few mile of travel in the forest. You come down a gravel path leading out from the West Timber, coming down the sloping hillsides towards the valley that the city rests in, and farmers pass you coming to and from their homesteads, some with empty wagons, other with wagons full of bushels of wheat and grains, and some just collecting firewood and other essentials for the city, loaded with timber and other findings from the forest.
Is it still cold?
Yes. Yeah, it's cold, and it's getting colder every day.
Great. Mel is like bundled up, so like literally only her eyes can be seen.
Yeah. And I think at this point too, in the overcast skies, I think this late hour of the day, it's probably getting near sunset at this point. There is a light flurry of snowfall coming down from the sky. Nothing too heavy, and the roads haven't been obstructed yet, but just enough when the wind picks up, it just kind of whips against your face, and you get that frost coating the sides of your heads. And it's getting very cold. The beacon at the top of the tower looks very warm and inviting from your current position. As you ride up to the city gates, they're currently closed, and there are guards that are tending to them, keeping them slightly opened so that the wagons and other peasant folk can come in and out to conclude their business for the day. As your wagon approaches the city gates, one of the guards steps forward and holds up a hand, halting you. I think, who's driving? Jules is driving? Okay. I assume Chad was probably in the front too or something, but...
I don't know, does Jules want to be sitting next to Chad after he chopped a bunch of bandit heads off?
She hasn't said anything about it. So...
Yeah. Okay.
I'm just curious who will be sitting in the front and conducting the sort of conversation.
Chad would probably be up there, especially as the city came within sight. If he wasn't there, he would have gone up to the front.
Also, do you guys still have... Did the elks die in the last one? I don't remember what animals we ended up with.
One of the elks is gone. I think we still have one.
Gina.
Okay. Just curious. Because that's getting some looks, too.
It usually is.
So one of the guards steps forward, a Goliath wearing splint mail and holding a large pole arm, like a halberd, steps up beside your cart, and probably on the side of Jules, since you're the one, or no, probably on the side of Chad, since Jules is driving, and Chad carries some more of a noble bearing, and looks like maybe it might be the owner of the cart. Making a lot of assumptions here. Looks to Chad and says, "Hail, traveler. What brings you to Quildun so late in the day?"
Well met. We have been traveling for many days. We were waylaid by bandits a few hours back. We dispatched them, but they are out and about, and we are simply coming to rest for the evening before conducting our business here in the morrow.
You came through the forests.
Yes, we had some business in Foth de Mary.
Oh, I don't know if it's lucky, bravery, or skill that got you through there alive, but chalk it up to one or the other. If you took out any bandits on the way, then I'd say you've done the city a service.
Oh, I think it was a little of all three. I'm the bravery, pointing at Jules. She's the skill, and pointing at the other three, and they're the luck.
Pardon me, is the service that you speak of a compensable service, by chance?
Not unless you already had a contract with one of the guilds.
Next time.
What is your name again, sir?
I am Chad. These are my companions, Jules, Mel, Hilda, and Matthias. And this one is Gina, patting the giant elk.
I just kept it. He and the other guardsmen keeping an eye on the elk too. And he looks over the ones in the card and says, "All right, you seem well enough. You're be granted entry. You just have to pay the tax to enter. 1 silver each."
Gladly. Fishing out, that's 5 silver? Are they taxing the elk?
Actually looks at the elk and says, I don't think we'll be allowed, I don't think I'll have permission to let a beast of that size into the city. It'll have to wait out here by the stables.
Oh, that is alright. It is magical. It will disappear at dawn.
I'm not going to follow up on that any further, but if it needs to, it can stay at the stables. If not, as long as it doesn't go into the city, it can go wherever the hell it wants.
Fair enough. So fishing out 5 silver from the party fund, paying the tax.
From the
He takes the coin from you, weighs it, and drops it in a pouch at his side, and steps out of your way and motions for the other guards to pull the gates open enough to allow your wagon entry, and says, "Welcome to Gwildun, and enjoy your evening."
Do I believe that there was really a tax? Is it really a tax?
Make an insight check.
I will. Oh, 18.
18. Yeah, it doesn't seem like he was trying to deceive you in any way. And you had probably noticed the pouch at his side had many other silver pieces in it, and yeah, it does seem like there is a legitimate tax going on here.
I'm legitimately
legitimately
still
ask for very much.
What did you say, Jules?
Sorry.
Oh, I said if that was a shakedown, he didn't ask for very much.
Yeah, that's also true.
Every penny counts.
So you ride through the gates and into the city and catch your first view of the inside of Gwildun. And as I said, there's this sort of 3-tiered effect to the city. Each quadrant of it, or district of it, being built onto the other. This lower level, as you enter, you see kind of what you'd expect around the exterior or the merchants' quarters that you would find on the near the outer gates of any city you might have been in before. You pass by smiths and other traders and people with wagons set up and finishing up their business for the day. Most of them are packing up at this point, but it is pretty much commercial dwellings down here, and there are travelers' lodgings as well. A few stables with people parking their wagons and their horses for the evening, and then there are a couple of inns to choose from.
Well, Matthias, you've been here most recently. Do you know of suitable lodgings for the evening?
Yeah. I'll be honest. The first time I stayed here, I didn't really have much coin, so I just kind of like slept in the stables. So I didn't really spend much time in the inns around here, but there were.
Well, which inn has the nicest stables?
This way. Here, I'll show you. And he kind of points down the street further into the city. So you follow Matthias's directions further into the city of Gwildun, and you pass by more of the traders and merchants and other businesses around here. Most of them, like I said, are closing at this point, but you can take note of anything that you might want to do in the coming days while you're in the city. As you enter, though, and Matthias leads you down a few twists and turns, winding your way deeper into this lower district, and he points out to you along the way the tiers. He references this tier as this earth tier of the city. Above that is the stone tier, and the highest tier in the city is the sky tier. And like I was pointing out, or as you probably noticed, the earth tier is mostly common quarters, trade, travelers' lodgings, things like that. The stone tier is guild quarters and training grounds for the guilds and the guards. And the highest tier is the sky tier, which is the noble quarters and some of the barracks as well. Pulling this up. So he leads you to an inn that's near the city walls on the other side of the main gates. And it's a rather small little lodging, and has a kind of neat little stable next to it with maybe 1 or 2 horses there. And you probably gather Matthias leading you here, and probably having spent time here because it seems to be out of the way and a place where people would not be traveling very often. And it is the my name's this is taking a long time to load. The Iron Creek Inn is the sign on the door. So you pull up your cart around the side, can hitch your horses there. And with Ice Horse stretches these steps out, he says, like I said, I don't know anybody inside, so I can't really say anything about what it looks like inside the inn. But it seemed pretty nice. It's quiet and out of the way.
As long as it's warm.
This may be a bit of a belated question. Sorry.
No. Just like to get out of the cold.
I agree. This might be a bit of a belated question, Matthias. How much communication does Quildun have with Glenbala?
I don't really know. Like I said, I'm not really from around here, so I don't really. Yeah, I don't really know exactly what their relationship would be. So you could probably ask some people around. But I mentioned your.
I'd rather not. Nope.
Oh, okay.
I mean, Chad might
you
know.
have to send a message or something?
Oh, would Chad know?
Give the message.
Mel just kind of shrugs in all of her layers.
But yeah, would Chad know from knowing what business his dad conducts and messages between the different major cities?
Yeah, I think you know that from your upbringing that there isn't like a very close relationship between the two cities. It's not like they do very much trade between them. I think your travels here would have been more for like one-off sort of situations, special events, or other gatherings of the council lords. They tend to meet in different cities to make it for convenience, and so each council lord can show off their township in turn. But no, with the forest between the two and the treachery, the difficulties of trying to traverse the forest, they don't do a lot of trade between the two. The most common, Glenbala tends to have a better relationship with some of the coastal cities near the loch or the lake. More convenience traveling to those areas. So yeah, and with any of the main cities, they tend to be pretty separate from each other in their dealings. They try to be self-sufficient.
So Mel looks at Chad and is just like,
I think Chad would lean over to her and kind of, sotto voce. They're not going to know about us.
perfect. Then I want to get warm.
Okay. You head into the Iron Creek Inn, and inside is about as nice as you would expect. It's pretty simple. With the sort of cozy little main or common area in the center. It's not a large like tavern by any means, and there is a innkeep behind a low sort of bar, sitting there and counting a few coins and weighing them off to the side. A halfling gentleman with red hair, cut to about like shoulder length, and wearing a very thick set of glasses. And he sees the five of you enter, probably more business than he's had all day, and says, "Oh, hi, welcome. Travis, come in. Are you looking for a place to stay for the evening?"
Yes, we are. We also have a wagon with 2 horses that we've gone ahead and hitched in the stables.
Okay. We can get to the I can get to the logistics. I begins to pull out some ledgers and books and like flips them open and says, "How many rooms do you need?"
At this point, it's what, 3, or are we squeezing into 2?
Well, how much are the rooms?
Yes. How much are the rooms, and how many do you have?
Well, I have a few available. Plenty to accompany all of you. Well, let's say, 5 silver for the night per room.
Well, I mean, I'm alright Matthias, do you want to squeeze in with us?
Matthias says, yeah, sure. Yeah.
Yeah, come be in our room. It'll be great.
And the innkeep says, all right, yeah. So one room for the three of you, and one room for the rest.
Yes, 2 rooms, please.
All right. So 1 gold total, or if you're splitting it, 5 silver each.
Chad will pull out a gold from the party fund.
And as far as the stables, you have how many horses?
2 horses and a wagon.
Okay. Another 2 silver for the stable fees for the night.
Pulls those out as well. And then how much for meals, food and drink?
I don't really have much in the way of food ready right now. I didn't really have any other. You're my only customers right now. I can get something going if you're hungry. Mostly just dried meat, and I've got a little bit of venison and some potatoes. That's about. I'll get that ready if you're hungry.
That would be great. We've been traveling a lot.
Okay, give me like 30 minutes. I'll get that ready. I mean, just to hang out. I'll get some drinks too. And he goes scurrying back into the kitchens. So, without needing to draw that out too much, he does bring you food and drinks. Altogether, probably another for the 5 of you. Probably another 3 silver for the meals. Gonna grimace anytime I say a number of coins that you're having to spend.
If it's anything higher than 3, yes, Mel is gonna grimace.
Okay.
Need I remind you, we have 5,500 silver, 2,600 gold, and 180 platinum.
That
Yeah,
doesn't
I
care.
So you get your food and your lodgings for the night. Anything else you guys want to do for the evening? Or I guess you have the chance to sit around and converse in the quiet and relative seclusion of this tavern if you need, or this inn.
So, Matthias, where is your business tomorrow?
Oh, yeah. Gonna need to go up to the sky tier to turn that in. It was a job given by the council lord, so I think I need to report to one of the attendants up there. And I'm not really sure. I'm not the one that took it, but I know where to go, and we'll find it. I just need to get my bearings again.
Right.
So, someone in your previous party got it from Lord Alabaster himself, or?
Yeah, there was a notice for a lot of the. Well, it was put out to all of the guilds, and they were asking for assistance. So I don't belong to any of the hunters guilds here, so I don't really. I'm not really sure. So I don't know how exactly it came about, but I do know we have to go and report it since now it's been taken care of to the higher ups, I guess. I don't know. I don't really do this kind of stuff very often.
Well, yes, certainly. If it came from the council lord, someone in his employ would need to be notified. Just a question of if we get a personal audience or if one of his attendants will handle it.
Yeah, I guess we'll just have to see, right?
Yeah, I'm just ask.
Yep.
I can take you to where we got the job from, and then see where we need to go from there.
And then what's next for you? I don't suppose your mistress has given you that much of a heads up?
Nope, not yet. Just have to see.
What exactly does she do for you?
I mean, I get magic and something to do. It's not
Right.
sitting in a library or something all day.
Yeah, because that would be so awful. So, the card game that we played the other day, what exactly did you get from it?
I don't know.
Really?
I won't. Yeah, no, I don't know.
Then what was the point?
I don't know.
Mel looks over at Jules and seems to remember a conversation that she had 12 hours ago. That is a very interesting way to live.
Yeah, I just sort of do what feels right at the time. So, yeah, that I mean, it just felt like the right thing to do.
Cool.
I mean, we could go check out those guilds. Maybe they'll give us something for taking out those bandits. You guys seem very eager about that. It's
Or
small.
at least more information about the Bandit King.
Yeah, that was a little interesting to find. Some sort of something happening there, at least politically. I wonder if we should mention that Lord Alabaster guy.
Sounds like a good idea to me.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure he'd like to know what's going on outside his walls.
Well, I'm full, so I'm gonna go to bed.
Hey, bye. Sleep well.
Anything else you guys want to do for the night?
So you mentioned there's a Hunters Guild. Are there other common guilds we would be aware of?
In this city, I don't think you know. Because there are merchant guilds that do work across the country, but you don't know which ones operate here specifically. The Hunters Guild seem to be something specific to this city, to Quildun, and you might have heard about it in the past.
Okay. Yep. Well, yes, it has been a rather long day. Sleep sounds fine to me.
Yes. I will just do a quick errand and I will be back.
Sure you're going to be alright going off on your own in this new city?
I'm literally not going to go very far. Just down the street maybe. And I will be right back. I have ways to handle myself, Chad. I'll be fine.
Yeah, she's an adult. She can take care of herself.
Thank you,
What are
Hilda.
you so worried about, Chad?
I suppose.
Okay.
Side question. I can't remember. Does Hilda know about Mel's backstory?
I don't think so.
Excellent. Oh, I like that very much.
Yeah, I don't think she knows about it.
Perfect. Mel's gonna look very awkward and just go, okay, I'm going to go now then, and I'll be right back. And basically, Sean, I'm just gonna go out onto the street until I see a common folk person, I don't know, like a laundress with getting a basket of laundry out, to hanging up some stuff. Or, I don't know, a horse working person. What are they called?
Not many people hanging laundry in the evening.
I don't know how laundry works.
But there is, I think you do pass by a few shops, and there is a smithy that seems to be closed down for the evening, but you see a man coming out, a drow gentleman has a bucket of looks like big scraps and waste from the day, and it's taking them to a large crate, or almost sort of like what maybe a dumpster was, keeping the rest of the scraps and everything from the kind of it's a word I'm looking for and I can't find it, but anyway, and he dumps the bucket into the box. As he turns back around and sees you, what do you do?
Well, basically, I'm just trying to use Mel's background feature of I know how bureaucracies function, lets you gain access to the records and inner workings of any noble court or government you encounter. You know who the livers and takers are, and whom to go to for the favors you seek, and what the current intrigues of interest in the group are. So Mel is just going to start putting out some feelers with, the way I'm flavoring this, because the way that Mel's background is she kind of can get in with like the serving working class and just be like, hey, what's the gossip? Like, what do you know? Who do you know? Like, can you get me this info? And she's putting out some feelers for if anybody knows anything about some like new folks coming into the city recently, specifically a young drow man.
Sure.
Sort of thing. Just like, hey, let me know if you know anything about this.
Yeah, so you talk to him for a bit. He doesn't really know a whole lot just based on his station, but I think what he gets from what you get from your investigation here is he says, I don't really know anyone that's come to town recently. I mean, we've had travelers coming in and out for a while now, so that's kind of common sense from around here. We've had some groups come in, some nobles come to see the council lord over the past few months. I don't really know the business. They weren't carrying any banners of any sort, but they the rumor is, I didn't see them myself, but they traveled in a lot of finery, the kind of the carriages that have the dark curtains so you can't really see inside, and
I know those.
Yeah, that sort of stuff. But they came here and had some words with the council lord and did some business and went on their way. But that doesn't happen too often, so that kind of stood out. We weren't sure if maybe there would be something else going on. We were waiting for maybe some sort of announcement or proclamation, but nothing really came of that. As far as the young drama, I mean, there's about 100 people that I think could fit that description, so I'm not really sure what to do. Of course.
I'm just looking for one in particular. It's been a bit of a while that he's been missing. I have an illustration, if that would help, and some gold to spread the way, if you want to spread the word in your network of people you know. If anyone, just keep an eye out for him and let me know.
Or some gold, I'd certainly be willing to do so. So, yeah, it just, you have a drawing or something?
Yeah, so it's like a sketch that Mel has made. And she just gives it to him and gives him 10 gold.
Okay. Yeah, he looks it over, and how artistically talented is Mel?
I do have expertise in calligrapher's tools. I know that's handwriting, but still.
Just make a performance check for me.
Oh, okay.
I'll give you a proficiency bonus on it. So charisma
excellent.
plus proficiency.
Okay. Oh my gosh, that's literally a natural 20, so 23.
Nice. Okay. It's
so
very, very close likeness, and he looks it over, says, I'm sure I'll be able to find something from this. I'll do what I can. I'll spread it around and ask people if they've seen this young man.
Yeah, and I don't know, Sherlock Holmes, like, homeless network style. She's like, this is how you can get in touch with me.
Okay, yeah. So you leave your room number with him, and
basically,
and head back to the inn. All right. Anything else anybody wants to do tonight? Okay. So you sleep through the evening, and next day wake up to the sound of commerce and the city coming to life once again. Come out to the common area. You're provided with some porridge for breakfast. Pretty simple fare. Gather you ate most of the good food last night, and the innkeep's gonna have to go and restock a little bit with as many guests as he currently has. But the Matthias, as you're up and ready to go, says, all right, so ready to go get paid?
Always.
as if you have to ask.
All right, let's go then. And he goes and pushes open the door, and he goes to turn right, and then he goes, nope, that way. And he turns left and heads the other direction.
I'm sure he knows where he's going eventually.
Mel just looks pleadingly at Jules like, give me some direction on how to live.
It's been a while. He'll find it.
think I do want to say Chad is probably still wearing his armor, but has tried to put on whatever nice-ish clothes he still has that would work with armor.
Okay. Okay. So you in your full regalement, and the rest of you just wearing your normal fare. Follow Matthias' direction. Leads you up to some kind of spiraling ramps that lead up to the higher quadrants of the city. You come up into the stone tier, and here you can see like the quality of life up here kind of increasing. There are a lot of like bigger buildings, and you can see these large sort of brands in these buildings designating the guilds that they belong to. You see buildings belonging to the Moon Eagles and the Outcasts of the Impure, the Bounty of the Righteous, the Joyous Ashes, and the Light of the Lost. And as you're seeing other kind of very well-dressed, armored, and competent-looking individuals coming in and out of these guilds, some of them with carts with large creatures in them. You see some with these big, like, kind of lizard creatures, others with, like, dire wolves that they're skinning and tanning the hide of. Others that seem to be dealing with some of the merchant folk that have come up from the lower districts, hiring escorts and guards. But Matthias leads you all the way up to the top district, which here you see the beacon burning brightly on top of a large sort of pyramid-like structure of wood and scaffolding. A massive... I guess what Matthias would point out too is it is sort of the noble quarters, the castle, the center of political power here in Quilldun, and it's referred to as the Beacon. And Matthias leads you that direction, and there's not a lot of people up here, but some very well dressed noble folk, also some mercenaries and some merchants as well. And as you reach the outside of the beacon, there's some people gathered, kind of heading inside. There's a pretty good amount of commotion going up here, a lot of like conversation going on. And there is one man in very noticeable blue tabards with a yellow insignia on the front that has like an image of a like a burning flame on it. That's having some conversation with some people and moves on and seems to be kind of conducting and like organizing things and kind of a little bit in charge right now of this the chaos going on. And Matthias says, I think that's the steward. I didn't actually speak with him directly, but I think he's the one that gave out the job the first time. Or at least that guy looks important. Maybe we'll know where we need to go.
Just tell him why you're here.
And Matthias walks up and kind of jogs ahead of you, and as the rest of you catch up, you hear he says, "Hi, I'm Matthias Loop, and these are I'm here to turn in a job." And the man looks down, and he's high elf, slick back, kind of silvered hair, and kind of finishes scratching some things on the clipboard, holds up a finger, just like, wait a second, and continues scratching until he stops, taps the board with his quill, and looks over all of you and says, yes, job to turn in. All right. Well, if you did something for the guilds, then you want to go down to the level that you just came from and speak with someone there. And Matthias says, no, this kind of came from the Council Lord. We were here to turn in the bounty on the Umberhawkers on Hargrave. And the man scoffs for a second and says, I'm afraid you're a little late on that one. Matthias stops, says, no, I'm pretty sure we're right on time. We killed him, and we're here to collect the gold for it. And the steward says, kind of tucks the board under his arm and says, Currently there's an audience going on with the individuals that are responsible for the death of the leader of the Umbra Hawkers. They're currently in an audience with the Council Lord. You're welcome to attend and witness their reward or whatever they're receiving for commendations for their good service. But I'm afraid that the job is already taken care of, and trying to take credit for something that you didn't do really isn't in good taste. But I'll let this one slide.
Don't we have a letter from McDwyer saying we did the thing?
Sure, you do.
Yeah, so I think Chad would step forward and say, we have a letter from the captain of the Vale Guard,
Yes.
McDwyer, over in Glassknock, where we gave him Hargrave's head. So I think this may prove our side of things.
He takes the letter and breaks the seal and looks over it, cocks his head for a second, and looks up at all of you and looks back at the letter. It says, I'm not familiar with this McDwyer, but he does bear the seal of the Vale Guard. He does give you credit for the bounty. Oh, I hate paperwork with the small towns. He tucks that into his under his arm as well and says, "Follow me," and turns heel and walks into the beacon.
Oh, this ought to be fun.
Yeah, who takes credit for something they didn't do?
Lots of people, actually. You'd be surprised.
As you follow the squire, or the steward, who's walking very quickly through the corridors here and into the beacon, as you enter, there isn't a lot to the structure. It's just these wooden scaffolding and essentially like full like stripped bare trees that are piled here, almost kind of like a tent that is burning on top and creating this massive hall on the inside. And gathered around in sort of a semicircle are lots of people trying to get a view of what's happening. And you hear some conversation that's get louder as you approach. And you catch the sort of tail end of it as you push through the crowd with the steward. And you see a throne on the far side of the room, constructed of simple wood. Nothing really ornate or colorful about it, but sits up a little bit higher than the rest of the interior. Lots of people are gathered around of all different types. You see Goliaths and drow and humans and elves, all kind of eagerly watching, most of them wearing armor and a lot of them looking like they belong to the hunters. You do see in the corner kind of a striking, I think you take a double take, as a lot of you kind of get this sniff, this really kind of off scent of like wet dog. And you look over to the corner and you can see a crouched over there is a singular gnoll that's just kind of hanging out and watching. But the steward leads you forward towards the commotion, and those four, there are four individuals that are standing before the council lord, and who he is currently addressing. And you see there, who you have been pointed out before, Council Lord Dante Alabaster, a half-elven man of maybe late 30s, early 40s, who is wearing brown leathers studded with silver. He has a long sword at his hip and is wearing a like a crown that is formed with like out of wood as well, but specced and kind of inlaid with gold. Kind of the standard fare for most of the council lords to have some sort of crown or insignia. And he looks down all of them, and you catch the end of his address, and he says, "And for their bravery and heroism, I present these fine examples of hunters, slayers of evil, and those who stand up for righteousness and all that is good within our fair city. The sum of 500 gold, and the steward holds up a hand and says, "Excuse me, Lord Alabaster, I don't mean to interrupt, but it seems that we may have some discrepancy in our ledgers." And the council lord stops and gives a sigh and says, "Sebastian, what seems to be the problem?" And the steward steps forward, interposing himself between these four gentlemen. And you can see there's one Goliath, two humans, and one half-elf among them. And Matthias, looking over all of them, immediately goes, "Shit."
Is that
He
true?
turns to all of you and he says, "Those are the ones that came with me and then ran away."
Well, then this is going to be very embarrassing for them.
Yeah. He turns back and you see the half-orc, or the Goliath, who's towering above the others, and looking back towards all of you in a very deep voice says, "Matthias." And Matthias says, "Hey, Fisk. Glad to see you're still alive." And Fisk says, "Likewise." And there's this awkward pause and silence between the two of them, not saying anything for a moment. And the steward has walked up to Lord Alabaster and is whispering something in his ear, and then shows the paperwork to them, and they look it over. And there's a pause. And then Lord Alabaster turns back and addresses the 9 of you now. It says, "It seems that we have multiples that are going to be taking credit for this this accomplishment here today. Step forward, the rest of you. You there. What are your names?"
Your Grace, I am Nebuchadnezzar Musseldorf. These are my companions. Gosh, I should know your full names. Chad gives your full names, but Mel, Jules, Hilda, and...
Does he please not give Mel's full name?
He would just say Mel.
Okay, great.
But of the others...
Just Mel.
Yeah, and... Sorry.
And they run away again on their motorcycles.
And we did this.
The Knoll in the corner goes running off to follow the car that came rushing by.
And we are the ones who slew Hargrave and the Umber Hawkers. We gave the Vale Guard in Glassnock, this town they were terrorizing, Hargrave's head. I have Hargrave's personal breastplate with my belongings back in our lodgings. You can bring that if you require further proof.
Where's it that you're staying?
At the Iron Creek Inn.
Nods over to the steward, who says, "I'll have it retrieved immediately." And a few guards go out of the building. And Lord Alabaster addresses all of you and looks back towards the 4 that were in here originally and says, "So this is going to be an awkward bit. We're just going to have to stay here and try to sort this out. It seems that you're our newcomers here, also claiming that they're the ones that slew Hargrave. Well, these gentlemen here brought proof of their own." And he looks down towards the floor, and you see laying there on the ground is a severed head. Little decayed, and but appears to be a half-orc. Doesn't look like Hargrave from when you met him. But Lord Alabaster says they're claiming that this is the late and infamous Hargrave, and you're claiming that you also took out this figure and claimed his breastplate.
Was Hargrave a half-orc? I don't remember.
He was.
He was? I thought he was a guy.
Yes.
My bad.
Yeah,
No.
there's a-
I pay attention in class.
I mean, I would love to hear the story of their apparent slaying of Mr. Hargrave, because I'm sure it will not add up with what actually happened, but I'd love to hear the tale that they told you.
I would as well, because we had a very different version from someone who was there.
There's an awkward bit of silence, and Fisk steps up and says, "Your lordship, I don't mean to impose or, to make your decision for you, because obviously there's some amount of confusion here. But I can assure you that when we arrived at the Black Perch, stormed the gates, and fought off the brigands known as the Umberhawkers, that in that melee we did fell their leader, this Hargrave, and proof of which lying at your feet. Now, this one here, Matthias, did stand with us when we arrived at the Perch. But shortly after the combat began, it proved a bit too much for the lad, and he ran off, tail tucked between his legs." Matthias says, no, that's not exactly what... And Lord Alabaster holds up a hand to quiet him and looks over the four of you and says, "And how did you find yourselves with Ice here? And involved in this business? As far as I'm aware, none of you seem to be members of any of the guilds and trying to claim reward for this job that you really had no business in. Why were you involved in this in the first place?"
We are but simple travelers, making our way across the lands, and when we heard that bandits were harassing the townsfolk, how could we not intervene? We were investigating another claim, which the Umberhawkers also ended up being behind, and we came across Matthias after he had been abandoned by his compatriots who ran away after their attempt to storm the gates. We rescued Matthias. He told us about their misadventure, and we formulated a plan to storm the Black Perch and relieve the townsfolk. If someone is to go visit now, you will find that it is now under the ownership of a hill giant named Krog, who was instrumental in defeating Hargrave. I understand this sounds outlandish, and that is why it is truthful, for I would not come before you and spout such nonsense.
Yeah, because what was it that you said that you guys did? That your strategy... Oh, we went in and we certainly did kill him. That was your proof. I can tell you where we hid some bodies, where we buried some treasure, and some illegal gunpowder, where that is. What can you say to prove that you were there?
The four of them just sort of look down at the head and then look back up. And there's a very long pause of silence. And Lord Alabaster sighs and says, "All right, this is getting to be a bit much for what was supposed to be a pretty simple reward here. And honestly, I don't really want to sort any of this out right now. This seems there's too much going on around here," and he kind of addresses the whole room, "for us to be squabbling amongst ourselves over such a trifle sum. We have bigger concerns with the threats still outside our borders. So, this is what I'm going to offer to the 9 of you that stand here. Those that already belong to the guilds of the city, and those that are strangers to us. You'll each be able to collect the reward if you see fit." And he motions to the steward, who goes walking off for a moment outside of the room. 500 gold pieces. That was the sum. for dealing with this threat. You each have the opportunity to claim it for yourselves and the accolades that are presented along with it. But know this: if you claim the reward and it's found that you've spoken falsehoods within the lights of this beacon, you'll be dealt with swiftly, brutally, and in a manner that mostly be unpleasant for all involved.
It's also going to be public. Just wondering.
Certainly. That seems like the best way to deal with all this. And the steward comes back out with a large chest. He drops on, kind of having somebody else help carry it. Drops down, and Lord Alabaster pulls out 2 sacks of coins and throws them at the feet of the 9 of you. And says, "There, your reward for the taking."
I think Chad will just immediately scoop up our share.
Yoink.
There is a moment of quiet in the room as the steward and the council lord look over the other 4 and wait a moment. And a few more moments, and Fisk stands there and like biting at his lip. Fuck. And just like turns and like walks out of the room, and the other 4 behind him.
That's what I thought.
The rest of the gold is picked up out of the pouch, or the sack is pulled off the ground and thrown back into the box. And the rest of the people in the room begin to like chatter and murmur amongst themselves. And Lord Alabaster rubs his temples and says, "Well, I suppose that's enough punishment for now. I suppose they'll probably lose their position in any of the guilds. And the rest of you in here that seek to pull off any sort of bullshit like this in the future, well, far worse will be in it for all of you." And everyone in the room sort of begins to filter out slowly, leaving you remaining and a few others staying to watch. And he says, "All right, you with the long name and the rest of you, I appreciate you sorting this out. Know that we're still going to investigate and verify your story here. But
We have no problem with that.
I trust that you're being honest. I don't think anyone would be stupid enough to pick that gold up so quickly had they been lying in that moment."
Well, with all due respect, my lord, it might be a trifle sum to you, but for some of us, it's our life.
Fair enough.
And Anna.
That too.
So what brings you heroes of the countryside in here to grace this hall?
Money.
Yes, we were accompanying our compatriot here, Matthias, to finish this job. And yes, as we have said, the money is certainly appreciated, but as I said, we seek to help people. And you mentioned there being problems outside the gates. Does this have anything to do with the Bandit King? We encountered some bandits outside the city who claimed to be working for a Bandit King.
I even have papers to prove it. And like pulls out the note that she found.
The steward takes the papers and reads them and hands them to Lord Alabaster, who, after reading them, says, "Well, it's good to know that there's some competent folks out there looking to help out with this. I thought all of them were within the city. Most of the other council lords have been, well, too preoccupied with themselves to assist in this matter. Knowing that there's some outside help, people such as yourselves willing to step up and take care of this, warms my heart. If you're looking for more work, I certainly have it for you. Dealing with this Bandit King has been the number one priority that I've set the guilds of the city towards. any assistance that you might be able to offer, be justly rewarded. I've offered each one of the guilds a not so trifle sum for the head of this bandit king. Sum of 15,000 gold pieces. And land, within or without the city.
Well then, what does it take to start a guild here?
To start a guild, you'd have to file the appropriate paperwork with the steward here. And, well, I suppose we could waive some of the filing costs for people such as yourselves. You also have to have at least 6 people to sign the charter for your guild.
Now, correct me if I'm mistaken, but he said he's offered it to the guilds. Does it mean we'd have to be in a guild to get the reward?
Do you ask him
What
that?
Hilda's thinking.
Yes. Is it a requirement that we be members of a guild in order to claim this reward?
Not per se. I could provide you with a gold sum if you weren't a guild or a resident of the city. It'd be a bit difficult to provide land. Someone that wasn't a guild, an established guild within Quilden. So, depends on what you want, really. You'd be given up on a pretty sizable amount of the reward, in my opinion.
Sounds like we need to make a new friend.
I might be able to help you with that in one regard. We have some specialists here looking to help take on some of these bandit organizations. There are 5 bandit factions that we've been able to identify operating under the banner of this bandit king. The Umberhawkers were but one of them. In addition, there's a collection of orc brigands known as the Blood Wolves, mostly operating in the forests not too far from here. There's a pirate crew known as the Ice Rats, operating to the south, preventing a lot of trade from coming this way. There's also the Midnight Reavers, attacking small cities and establishments, other settlements not too far from here, under the cover of night. And the last, and certainly not the least, probably one of the greatest thorns in our side, a group known as the Lone Eye. A collection of mystics and assassins that have, I'm afraid, infiltrated not only Quildun, but presumably most of the holds of the Council Lords across East Fornin. But I've got others I can fill you in on that. Most of them are out dealing with the problems of their source, investigating them for their own guilds. I do have one private entity that's been helping take on or providing information on the Lone Eye. Dog. Is he still here?
Yes.
And you see towards the corner the knoll. Do you want to describe yourself?
Okay. Dog is a knoll. All right. So if you've ever seen a knoll, you know they're quite big. Dog is not quite that big. And still pretty sizable. Like the whole hunch thing, about somewhere around between 5.5 and 6 feet. It's got looks real rough. Kind of matted, kind of gray fur, parting every now and then with with knots of like kind of gnarled pink burn scars that are kind of peeking through. His teeth are kind of this is kind of dark gold of tartar buildup, and he's got kind of a blinded eye in one, wearing faded clothes, tattered and soiled, and also around his neck there's like these like there's a leather band, and around his like wrists and ankles as well, and kind of woven into this, can't really call it a cloak or a tunic or anything, but it's kind of like these thin chains are kind of like wrapped and gnarled into it, like what kind of woven into it very roughly. It doesn't look good, and when he moves it kind of like jinkles a little bit. Yes.
And the Lord addresses you and says, "You've been hunting after these members of the Lonai for quite a while, haven't you?"
Yes.
And I believe you hit a bit of a dead end in your investigation.
Dead end? Yes, I did a little bit.
Dog might be a bit of rough around the edges, and I can promise you that they've been beneficial towards our efforts, and at least scaring away many attempted infiltrations. But I would set your sights on the dealings of this Lonai. They deal information and mysticism. I'm sure you'll be able to find out much about this bandit king if you were to go up against them toe to toe. I advise hearing Dog out and seeing if they might be able to help you in your endeavors. Should you need anything further, my steward will assist.
All right. Well, thank you, your lordship.
He nods. And you are free to leave or commingle however you wish.
Let's just leave.
I hear what you're saying about Dog, but I'm just gonna go.
So, Dog, I stick my hand out. I'm Jules. Nice to meet you.
Maybe.
Oh, that's fair.
Is maybe nice to meet us?
It remains to be seen.
I mean, in his defense, we came in and he said we killed, dozens of bandits. We're very dangerous individuals.
Dangerous.
I take it you like the danger, Dog?
It's not about the danger. It's more about the hunt, I suppose. You are interested in maybe going after the Lonai?
I mean, yeah, we're going to get rid of all these bandits. Seems like a good place to start.
Yes.
I guess if you care about that sort of thing, but yes, the Lonai, I'm motivated to get rid of them as soon as right now.
Well, I guess we should get started. Where should we go? Do you have any leads?
That's a stupid joke.
Oops.
Do I have any leads?
I think Lord Alabaster was saying, and probably the last time you reported in, you've hit a bit of a dead end in your investigation with them, probably literally, as you probably killed the last person who could have told you anything. But you know that they've been operating within the city have been trying to bribe various like merchants within Quildan to smuggle both people and goods and other illicit substances into and out of the city. And that would be, I think, that's where your investigation sort of end, the best lead that you had.
They do a lot of things in the city, their business, and I've sort of tried to find them, but not everyone. The people seem to not want to share with me very much. But I've got a little bit of progress, but there's still much to be done. Very much to be done.
I have a question for you, Dog, if you do not mind. What makes you so motivated to see this group brought to an end?
It's just what Mother wants.
Right. It's good to do what your mother says, I guess.
Yes, you don't disobey Mother.
Right, well, let's just get going. It's a little weird in here now. We should go.
You know, Dog, I really don't understand why people don't want to talk to you. This has been very fun for me.
Oh.
So you leave the beacon and head back out in the city, dog in tow.
Bark.
Wait, before we leave the city, I would like to pick up the supplies I need to do
Oh,
some
no,
enchantment.
I didn't say you're leaving the city.
Oh,
I
just kidding.
you're back out
When we
into the
leave
city.
the building, I immediately... No, but yeah, I'm going to look for some stuff that I need.
Okay, you can do that. And anybody else who wants to... what do you guys want to do as far as your investigation here? Or things you want to accomplish?
Could I lead them to where I last encountered some?
Sure, you can do that.
I think Chad would request being able to stop back at the inn and change out of his nice clothes if we're going after, smugglers and the like.
That's fair. You can stop by back at the inn and change into something a little less noticeable.
Mm-hmm.
Anything else anybody wanted to do to prepare? You said you wanted to go buy something, Mel?
Yeah, what does Mel need?
Yes, I need the supplies that I need to do some enchanting. We briefly talked about this last episode.
Yeah. How much gold did I say that it was going to be?
It was an uncommon item.
Uncommon. Okay. I gotta pull that up.
Probably like some metal and various raw ingredients.
Yeah. I think I said 200 or 250.
That sounds reasonable.
Sounds about. Yeah, so you just have to buy, we'll go 200 gold worth of supplies and ingredients. And it comes in a sort of a few stopping or shopping trips. You have to have some basic like metal, incense, some like powdered like gemstone, some more like alchemical ingredients to use in the preparation and the treatment of the various substances that you're going to use to craft this item. It's probably going to take you a little while to gather all of those bits.
I can split from the group and come back if you guys want to start investigating.
Well, I was just thinking maybe Hilda would go along with Mel, and while she's getting supplies, would maybe like chat up anybody who works there and be like, have you hired anybody recently? Are you still taking on people? Sort of looking around for maybe somewhere I can get the job. Is there openings?
Okay. You're trying to investigate any newcomers into the
Yeah.
city. Okay. We can break up the group into two parties if you guys want to. Hilda and Mel going to do some
Nerd
shopping
group?
and a little bit of investigating,
Yeah.
and then Chad, Jules, and Dog going to do going back to where Dog last the last kind of had your encounter with this group. Is that what you guys want to do? Or
Yeah.
Jules or Chad, did you have any other?
No,
Yeah.
I just if Mel is going shopping, I
I'll
need
pick up some stuff for you.
Yeah, I need components for Revivify,
Yes.
which I don't have. So
I think I'm going to blow through all of our gold probably. Because I'm actually going to buy 2 times what I need.
Okay.
So I'm going to spend 400 gold on the stuffs for enchantment.
Okay.
Is it cool if you guys if I use party inventory? Okay. Jules, would you like to use party inventory gold, and how many diamonds would you like?
well, we're gonna have to use party inventory gold because I have 10 gold in
Excellent.
my pocket. But it's a 300 gold piece diamond.
So how many would you like?
I don't know, how much money do you guys want to spend on those?
Well, after my stuff,
We
we
have
still have
4,
2,700 gold.
Oh, we have lots more money than I thought we did.
I think we have some platinum too.
Yep,
We do.
180 platinum.
Maybe like 2 or 3?
Yeah, 3 is probably good.
Okay,
Hopefully we never need them.
Yeah.
okay, that's
So we
fine.
said 300. So,
900 total.
okay, we're good. We still have 1,834 gold.
Those.
Nice.
And I already edited party funds.
Thank you.
Okay, yes, but I want to be part of the tracking. So I just tell Mel what I need.
I salute.
Okay, so to the party, I guess Matthias will go with. I'm trying to see how we split the party evenly, or he goes with the others. I think he'll go with Nerd Squad, so we'll just split the party 3 and 3.
Nice.
So he goes with the 3 of you, and the 3 go to investigate. So let's do the investigating squad first, and then we'll do shopping squad second. So Dog, you lead them down into the earth tier, the lowest level of the the city, and towards near the gates leading out to the southern edge of the city, not the ones that you guys came through initially. There is a shop close to the city wall, called the Barbed Hammer. It's like a smithy, essentially like a blacksmith. It's currently closed, even though it's the middle of the day, and there are a couple of guards posted outside of it. I think, Dog, you would know that after your last visit here, and given once you reported in that everyone here was sufficiently taken care of, the guard's been posted there to make sure that nobody else got inside. They see you approach, and they take a step back for a second, and one of them says, "Are you here for the investigation?"
Yes.
We heard word you might be coming this. Go ahead. And he just sort of steps to the side. And as Dog enters in, I think Jules and Chad, you hear him look at the others, like, and the one that didn't talk says, "Is that him?" And he goes, "Yeah, you should have seen the blood. It was, I'll never forget it." So the 3 of you enter the quiet smithy, and it's pretty much what you'd expect on the inside. There's a little bit of a shop exterior, some weapons and other assorted, already pre-forged weapons and armor hanging on the walls. There is a forge seems to be towards the back of the shop, where it's a little bit like open air. There's it's not enclosed towards the rear. and there is an open trap door on the floor leading down to a cellar. And you can see there the counter has been like smashed apart. There are some red stains across the floor. And you get the vague sort of scent of like putrid decay of something that was recently clean of it, something dead that was recently cleaned out of here.
This is where it was. I asked questions. They did not answer. But this is the last thing I know.
Okay.
So you fought some of the assassins, some of their foot soldiers here?
Not sure if fought
I
is
think
the right
so.
word.
Some of them were.
Yeah, they didn't really fight back all that much. So, how do you guys want to look around? Is there anything you want to search for? Or are you just going to stand in the room?
No, we just stand there in silence. Dog. Did any of them leave after this altercation? Or did you kill all of them? That's what I'm asking. Did you kill all of them?
All the ones that I could find.
Okay. Can I try to look around for like another exit? Either like in the back of the shop or like in the cellar or something?
Sure.
Like where someone could have possibly run away?
Yeah, make a perception check.
Dirty 20.
Oh, nice. Okay. You begin to search around. Chad, are you doing anything?
I think as she's going to look around, Chad is going to ask Dog more about the altercation and what happened. And so, what brought you here? Why did you suspect the Lone Eye was operating here? What happened? What led this to be your last lead?
Just as always, a word from my mother, and she just thought I should come here and the eye and just kill the eye.
All right. And your mother hasn't told you where any more of the eye is to be found yet?
Oh no, not yet. No, she likes when I do a little bit of work myself sometimes. Just trying to she it's not good for someone to have everything handed to them at all times. You have to work for it,
Of course.
I think from the back of the store, Jules is going, my mom's just like that.
I followed one or two here, and there were others. But I tried to find out more, but they wouldn't talk to me very much.
During the awkward silence, Jules, you've been searching around the interior, the upper floor. You haven't found anything up here, so you move down to the lower area. It looks like most of like the ledgers and anything that might have been kept here has been already like confiscated by the guard or by anyone else investigating. And you do find there is like a section of the floor that looks like it has been on the top floor. It looks like it's been ripped up and those things have been taken out of. So a lot of it's been discovered. But you head downstairs, and down here is like a storage cellar, or barrels and crates and things like that the keepers of this establishment were keeping kind of secreted away down here. Many of the crates have been opened and looked through. With a 20, though, what you find towards the back corner of the room, there is a crate that has been opened and rooted through. But you notice something odd. It's flush with the wall in the corner. And as you go to look into it, you notice it feels more like sturdy than you'd expect for an empty crate. And as you look around the side of the crate, you can see it is almost perfectly flush with the wall. And it actually looks like it's attached to the wall.
Okay. Is there anything inside it?
No, everything has been pulled out of it. It's completely empty.
Okay. Can I poke around on the inside of it to see if anything moves?
Sure. Make an investigation check.
That's good. 21.
Nice. You poke around in it, and you don't immediately find anything moves the inside the crate, but as you feel around the outside seams of it, you do find there is a stone that sort of shifts in place a bit as you put your hand on it. Do you push it?
Yep.
You push it inward, and there is a clicking noise, and the crate kind of shifts out from the wall a bit, revealing a gap between it and a hinge that allows the crate to swing out, revealing a passageway.
Oh, I open it.
All right, you open it up. It's a very narrow tunnel, probably 4 feet by 4 feet.
Oh, man.
You can fit through it. You just have to squat.
A lot.
Yeah. But there's a tunnel, and it leads off into darkness, and you get a really kind of a putrid smell come as it opens up.
All right. It's like my second secret door in a week. Boys.
Sounds like Jules has found something.
Good.
We head down to the cellar.
I just go like this.
You see the small secret tunnel.
Ta-da.
Good work. Do we let the guards know, or do we just go? I'm gonna go. I'll let them know that we're checking it out, just so that they don't think we just vanished from in here.
I mean, I don't know. And I mean this in the nicest possible way, that with Dog with us, they're gonna come looking for us. I'm not sure they will.
Mother thinks that you should always leave a note.
Alright.
I'll just run up and tell them, and jog back up the stairs, poke my head out, and just say, we appear to have found a secret passage in the cellar. We are going to go investigate, but you probably won't be seeing us again. At least not coming back out this way.
Oh, all right. Just let us know if you need anything.
Will do. You just keep up the good work of guarding here.
All right. We will.
Work.
They just give you a confused look and we're not going in there. And you head back to the tunnel. So the three of you go crawling into the tunnel. Mm-hmm. What's the order here? Because the order will matter.
Secret tunnel.
I think unless Dog insists on going first, Chad would take the lead, because I have dark vision. I don't know if the other two do.
I don't think.
I'll go second.
No, I don't. Okay.
Okay. So Chad, then Dog, then Jules. So Jules, you're getting a lot of dog smell.
That's fine.
And some smell.
She's probably the least offended.
That's probably true. And you begin to squeeze through this tunnel. It kind of begins to gradually curve as you crawl through it. and just keeps leading into the dark. So no light source. You're just using your dark vision.
Chad is, at least, because I don't have a way to make light.
I do. If we want it.
I can see perfectly well for up to 120 feet.
Pretty good.
I'm gonna create a light anyway.
Yeah.
Okay. Light illuminating from behind. It's mostly obscured by the two of you in front of it as you're crouching or crawling through this tunnel. Unless, are you casting it on yourself, Jules, or are you casting it on something in front of you?
Chad.
You could, yeah.
Yeah, I'll cast it on like the hilt of the Chad's axe.
Okay. All right.
Chad, is your axe drawn?
If it's only like 4 feet wide, probably not. But I may have like one of my hand axes at the ready.
Okay. Are we? Well, before we determine if we're going quietly, I'm just going to be loud.
You are with the least sneaky members.
Yeah,
of the
there's no
Brooklyn
way.
Perfect. So as I'm chinkling along,
So are we.
Yeah, a kind of black wisp materializes in Dog's hand as a large black iron maul materializes and starts to drag on the floor. There's like kind of red veins that are kind of dully pulsing in it, and like the head of it is, I think, a weird, almost human skull, kind of like a big human skull type thing, and like the teeth are just like scraping across the bottom of the tunnel as he is walking, just dragging it behind him.
Okay.
Whoa.
That is quite the weapon you have there.
Oh, yes.
All right.
Just very briefly look at Chad like,
Remind me what languages Jules knows?
common and primordial.
Okay, we only share common, so...
Maybe Dog doesn't speak common.
He'd probably just speak ye old common, and I wouldn't get it.
Just like in one brief moment, she's like, doesn't say anything.
So the three of you follow this tunnel for a little bit as it winds around to the side, and then it slopes downward and then levels out, and then begins to widen a bit. And before, almost before you realize it has opened up into a larger space. And that smell has gotten pretty bad at this point. As you look down, Chad, you're in a room right now. It looks to be like a staging area for the smugglers and the Lone Eye that were here, and there's a couple of like barrels and bags around, and you can't see what the contents of them are, but you see where the smell is coming from. As immediately in front of you, you see a body and a streak of blood dragged through the ground towards it. You see this a human man, looks to be a few days dead at least, with a very broken leg, probably like a compound fracture. It looks like he was hit very hard with something very large. It looks like he has dragged himself through this tunnel in an attempt to escape, but wasn't quite able to make it to wherever he was trying to get to. You see a ladder on the far side of this, about like a 30 by 30 foot space that seems to lead up into the like towards the ceiling, towards some sort of hatch that probably leads back out to the surface or another building or something else.
Dog, does this one look familiar? And kind of nudges the man with his foot.
You flip him over. Dog, this person does look and smell familiar. This looks like one of the people that you do vaguely remember encountered.
Turn him over to smell his butt. And then No, I'm just kidding. All right.
You do recognize him, and you had forgotten about him because he'd gotten away.
Oh,
But-
that's where he went.
And then, like, just kind of grab him by the collar, and it's like, I found you.
So I want to go to one other. So I want to, at that moment, flash over to our other group, walking through the city of Gwildon. As you are doing your shopping, I'm saying you've gone to a couple of stores to get some of the supplies because we don't need to go through all of the nitty gritty of that.
No.
But you stop. We'll go to the jeweler that you come into. And again, the actually this is probably like the second tier of the city, up in the Stone Quarter, where some of the guilds are. It's a little nicer establishment, but it's a small area, no really displays or anything, with a counter, and on the counter there is a elven man standing behind it that is inspecting a small like ruby with a pair of spectacles, or whatever the jeweler's goggles are, and puts it down as you come in and folds it away and says, "Oh, hello, good morning, or afternoon, or whatever time it is now. Welcome. How can I help you?"
So first of all, Sean, I just want to say that while we've been shopping and after Hilda told me her plan, Mel has been keeping up detect magic. Like every store they go into, she's specifically looking for, I think transmutation is what like invisibility and stuff are under. Is that
Sure.
right? Whatever
Sure.
that school of magic is. And then enchantment on or near a person.
Okay, so invisibility would be illusion. If
Yeah,
that's what
there we
we're
go.
talking-
Illusion,
yeah.
that one. So I'm specifically looking for illusion and enchantment on or near people in the stores we're going to.
Sure. You haven't noticed anything so far, but I'll
Okay.
keep that in mind.
Mel looks at Hilda to do the talking.
Hello, good afternoon. We are looking for some rather fine diamonds.
Oh, certainly. I have a very fine stock of very hand-selected premier diamonds for you to look through. Any sort of carats or quality size that you are looking for specifically?
Good
Something you would consider like holy, like whoa, like fit for divinity.
Are you looking for component pieces, not something to fashion into some sort of jewelry?
Right. Yes. We should have led with that. Sorry.
All right, well, I see my talents will go to waste one more day. I'll go ahead and get the components then. And he goes into the back and comes back out with a small box that he opens up. And he says, I can't, they're not the finest of quality, but they will do for needs such as this. If you're going to waste them like that. And pops open the box. And there's a selection neatly displayed in front of you of diamonds of varying sizes and polish and in quality in front of you. And I'll say you can sort through them. You guys wanted the 600, 900 gold pieces worth of diamonds?
900. Alan?
900. So you get 900 gold pieces worth of diamonds, small to large and very,
Looking through.
yeah.
Pardon me, what do you mean waste? You do realize the good that these sort of spells can do? That you see.
Oh, I'm aware, and to those out there adventuring and risking their lives, that's fine. I wish someone would appreciate the artistry that goes into some of the pieces that I make, but nobody wants to buy that around here. All they want is the diamonds for casting the spells and whatnot. But I guess I'll make a living and hoping that somebody better taste will come in one of these days.
What do you have for sale?
What else are you looking for?
What do you have for sale? Like earrings or regular rings?
I have a selection, and he brings them out and cut like a few display pieces. He sets on nice little silk cloths, and there's like a sapphire necklace and some emerald earrings inlaid in like silver, and they wind into like a very delicate like floral pattern that encases the emerald, and various little pieces of jewelry of very nice quality that you look over, and nothing magic, but very good quality jewelry befitting a noble.
Mel nods and like slowly just nods towards Hilda and is just like, no.
I think you should try one on. They look very nice. Mel, you would look so gorgeous.
Yes, I am so excited to try them on. This one.
You fumble trying on one of the earrings and look it over, and he says, "So, you be interested in buying the piece? I'd be willing to sell it to you, and I even provide a discount if you'll share the name of my establishment with any that you might find. And the exquisite pair of earrings like that, I could easily sell for close to 1,500 gold, but I'd be willing to part with it for the low price of 1,200."
Mel looks at Hilda like pleading eyes, like, please get on with the questions that we've been asking all morning.
I mean, but they look so good on you. You do such fine work, sir. Tell me, do you ever take on like apprentices or people willing to share?
Oh, I
learn
have.
the trade.
I have people coming in all the time asking to learn from me, from a master of the trade, but I'm afraid I don't. Now business has been too scarce and few and far between to warrant having an apprentice. But I have considered a few and had some recent applicants come through, and who knows, if business picks up and more fine individuals such as yourselves come in, perhaps I might be able to take on an apprentice or two.
Right. And these beautiful stones, where do you source them from?
Oh, all over. Of course, I get some of the adventurous type that come in with their findings out in who knows where, and they sell, and I buy and polish it up and make use of anything that might be salvageable. Otherwise, I rely on some of the connections that I've made, other merchants willing to source some of their trade through here. I have a few merchant companies that I do business with.
Right, and I assume as a wonderful businessman you are, this is all above the board, as you would say, and kind of like winks at him.
Okay, make a persuasion check.
All
You're
right.
kind of asking if he's breaking the law.
Yep.
I'm not a cop, I'd tell you if I were.
That's how that works. Okay, well, I just rolled a natural 20, so...
Nice.
26!
26. So he stops for a second, kind of like has the immediate reaction of like, oh, how dare you? But
Yes.
it stops and looks around and says, if I'm being honest, some pieces come in here through less reputable channels, but only the ones that are worth it. I make sure that all of the pieces that I have here are legitimate in their trade, in their purchase. I would never buy stolen materials by any means, but there are a few embargoes on certain areas of Sarthia that don't look too favorably on the trade and mining of these sorts of rarities. But I'm able to get a few more valuable and less common pieces in, if that's something you're interested in.
I mean, we are new in town, and we have some connections ourselves, and maybe we were hoping to establish with some of the businesses and some of the other well-connected folk in this town.
Well, of course, if you're looking to do business, have you found any pieces you're looking to sell? Or if you're traveling to anywhere where you might be able to acquire something like that, of course, I'd be more than happy to conduct some trade.
We do travel around quite a bit, and it would be great service if you perhaps would key us in to some of the specific folk we should be talking to in this town.
Oh.
No names. Nothing will go back to you, of course.
Well, I don't know many names of the people that I deal with in that sort of less reputable business. Real names aren't really used that often for anonymity and safety, of course.
Of course.
But, well, the two of you are so charming and willing to indulge me. I can point you in the right direction.
That would be very appreciated, and we will make sure you reap the benefits from such an endeavor.
Well, I wouldn't say no to that. If you're looking to deal with some of the black market dealings, you might say, there is a gathering area here in the Stone Quarter, a small shop just to the western edge of town. The Hedgehog's Hold. It's a quaint little name, but I can promise you that there are, important business going on there. It's a tavern of sorts, but very exclusive, and you can rub shoulders with the right people there.
Well, thank you, sir. That is quite helpful, and well, you look very good in the jewelry. Do you want it?
He presents it again and kind of holds up the other earring in his hand and dangles it in front of you.
I love it. It's just not really my color, and the scheme of my current piercings is a little bit darker, but I will definitely come back if you do something with a different metal. Or, actually, fishes in bag, pulls out the funky geode. The geode gemstone thing that you said wasn't magical, but looks cool.
Oh, yeah.
The size of a chicken egg. It's sparkly with blues and greens in it. It's very pretty. And I'm just, what do you make of this? Could you make something of this? Gibbs.
He holds it and looks over it, and so it's interesting. I don't know what I could make out of it. Perhaps I could chisel it down into a small sculpture or something. It's not really my area of specialty, though.
Well, fine. If you don't want it, then fine. Removes all of the jewelry, puts it back. Thank you for your time.
You leave, and he says, "Pleasure doing business with you." You gave him the gold. I assume you made the purchase for the other things you guys needed.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
We took the other diamonds.
Okay,
Yeah,
you buy your diamonds, and you get your powdered gemstone that you need for your stuff, Mel.
It's everything or nothing.
Yeah. As you leave the shop, I want you both to make perception checks.
Please.
Perception. Okay.
My perception is 0. Okay. I haven't rolled lower than an 18 today. That's an 18.
Oh dang. 7.
Die.
7 and 18, you said?
Yeah.
Oh,
Plus nothing.
That's good, though. That's very good. So you, the two of you, begin to leave the shop and wind your way through the streets. He's looking to meet up with, finish your shopping or meet up with the rest of the group. Mel, there's someone following the two of you.
Is it one of my homeless network?
No. There's been somebody, and I think you've caught them at your corner a couple of times. There is an individual, roughly the same height as roughly around 6 feet tall. I don't remember what your heights are. I know Hilda's
We're short.
Yeah, you guys are short.
Yeah.
Roughly around 5.5 to 6 feet tall. Who you haven't been able to make out any of their features, but they're wearing a slate gray cloak and a hood drawn. And you've caught them in the reflections of a few windows and over your shoulder a few times, and they seem to stop at the same time as you and have followed the same turns as you a few times now.
Oh, also Matthias is here. I just remembered that.
Oh yeah, Matthias is with you.
He's also here.
He's just been like looking through I think he's been eating. He's stopped at a few of the food carts along the way.
I like him.
And said, "Do we have everything we need now, or where are we gonna go?"
Yes! Oh, pardon me. And just like accidentally, but like really obviously, runs into Hilda. Then it's like, there's someone following us. I don't know if Pango can see. But sorry. Here, I was putting my bag on this side.
Okay. Yeah. Hearing that, Hilda's gonna have Panger sort of appear on like a roof nearby.
Okay.
They are still an owl, a snowy owl.
Okay. And you're just watching the person that's following you.
Yeah, it's gonna be like, what color? What are they wearing?
How far away are they?
Probably keeping somewhere around like 50 or 60 feet behind you.
Okay. So Mel will describe the wearing a grey cloak with the hood on. Just like while just walking, trying to be as cash as possible.
Okay. You spot them in the crowd then, Hilda. Mm-hmm. Or Panger spots them in the crowd and communicates that to you.
Yeah. Well, should we try to lose them or something?
Or talk to them?
Oh. I mean, I've never done anything like this before, but
Me neither.
Could be fun.
Matthias, are you up for it?
Yeah, definitely. I've never really been followed before, so as long as yeah, let's do it. Sounds fun.
Cool. Get ready for a chase then, and I'm gonna try and cast levitate on them.
On the person behind you.
On the person following us.
So you're not trying to talk to them. You're trying to lose them at this point.
No, I'm trying to catch them, like make it so they can't move. I'm gonna levitate them like a couple inches.
You are in the middle of like a city street.
That is true.
Do you want to do that in the middle of the city street?
Mel was just gonna do it. Yeah, it's really dumb, but you know, I said it. She's gonna do it.
She's gonna do.
Okay, levitate.
You're ready to save us from the authorities, Hilda.
Oh, okay.
I made an error.
Oh, it is good to know. Magic is illegal.
Wait, is it?
No, magic isn't illegal, but you're about to cast a spell on
whatever happens after
yeah. Yeah, whatever's about to happen.
Also, Mel doesn't cast subtly either because she has to use her tools to do it.
Oh boy.
Yeah. Well, it won't matter because either way, they're going to know you did it. So I think it's a Constitution saving throw for them.
Sure is.
Oh God. Interesting.
Okay. Let's roll.
DC 16.
16.
Yep.
That's a 21. So they succeed on it. So you turn around and you'd like, what does it look like when you're casting the spell with your tool?
I was trying to decide which tools it was. I'm gonna say it's actually her calligrapher's tools. Like she takes them out and like writes some stuff in the air that like stays in the air for a minute. And then it just probably in their direction, very obviously.
Okay. And as you take the calligrapher's tools and you cast a spell, and there's that magical field that begins to form around this individual, you see them sort of begin, like the edges of their cloak begin to raise up. And then they sort of jerk their arms down really quickly, and the magical essence breaks. And there is a moment of just like almost like quiet, though there's stuff going on the street around all of you. And you see that person locking eyes with you. And they're wearing a cowl, so their face is mostly covered at this point. You just see their eyes peering out from the interior of their cloak. And then you see the flash of a blade pulled from their side.
Oh no.
And they come rushing towards you. The rest of you over at the in the secret little alcove there, as you're looking over the body, what are you doing?
You said there's a ladder?
There is.
Great. Can I climb it and just like peek out?
Yeah, you climb the ladder and you kind of push it open a little bit, the hatch. And as you look out, there is you appear to be in another building of some kind. You just see a wooden floor, small wooden room, maybe a closet. You don't really know where you are. You don't hear anyone.
Does it look like a house or like?
It may be. It's hard to tell. Like I said, you're in a closet, so you don't know if it's a house or an inn or a shop or something.
I think as Jules is doing that, Chad just wants to quickly take a look around, see if there's any, documents or what has been left in this staging area.
Okay. You look around and flip through some documents, or you look around and you flip through like anything that's like scattered around the bags and the crates that are or the barrels that are left in here. You don't see, there aren't any documents, but there are like tacked onto the sides of the barrels and some of them pinned to the bags. There are like little phrases written in them. And what language does Shad speak?
Common, Infernal, and Giant.
Okay. I don't think you know what it says. You don't understand the language on these.
Can I check the body for papers, keys, anything that might be useful for this room?
Sure. You begin to search over the body. And as that happens, you all hear a voice from the corner of the room. And it says, I think I've had enough of all of that. And there's a slight shimmering that comes from the corner as a man appears, a human wearing dark sort of black robes with large eye emblazoned at the center. And as he finishes casting the spell, you watch as the body that you are beginning to search over a dog kind of jerks and pulls itself up and animates itself. And you see as the ground in front of you, another skeletal hand sort of emerges from the floor and begins to pull itself out too, as two undead creatures rise in front of you. And we're going to take our break there.
Yay!
And come back to resolve those two combats.
Cooper, violence is going to happen.
Hey, Sean.
Yeah.
Should I ask about the spell failure when we come back?
Yes, we can do that when we come back.
Okay.
Yeah, just think about what you want to do when
okay.
After. Okay, so we will be right back, everyone, and take a break, and we'll see you in a few minutes. Welcome back, Internet. We are about to get into some combat. Thank you for hanging out with us on the break. We're playing D&D. I got announcements. I'll do them later. Let's fight stuff. Let go.
Woo!
Okay. So everybody rolled initiative. We went ahead and did that. So we have two separate combats going on right now. We have Chad, Jules, and Dog currently in tight quarters with a mage of sorts, seeming to belong to the Lone Eye, that has just summoned a trio of undead creatures in front of you. Kind of between you and him. And then somewhere else in the city, Matthias, Hilda, and Mel are facing down a cowled or cloaked individual that has drawn a blade. Skeletons are first down in the basement. So they are going to clatter forward across the ground towards, Dog, you're right in the way of one of them. So I'm going to say 2 attacks against Dogs, 1 attack against Chad, because Jules, you were on the ladder across the room. So Dog, that is going to be
My AC is only 13.
Okay. The first one misses, second one hits. 4 points of piercing damage. And the other skeleton makes an attack against Chad. That's an 18.
That will hit.
Sweet. That's a 5 piercing damage against Chad. Okay. Skeletons doing their thing. Dog, it is your turn.
Okay. So, what I'm gonna do is, okay, just gonna this necromancer. Do I have to like get through a bunch of skeletons to get to them?
Yeah, the skeletons are currently dividing the you from the necromancer.
Okay, then I'm just going to deal with them first. So the one that I was like, I found you. I'm like time to go down again, and then I hit them with my maul.
Okay. Make your attack.
That is a 13 to hit.
That just hits.
Yay! So that's going to do 10 bludgeoning damage.
Oh, geez, it's bludgeoning damage. That's going to be 20 points of bludgeoning damage against that skeleton. And it is destroyed.
Oh, great. So what I'm going to do next is hit the other one with my maul.
Okay.
Roll a 15.
That hits.
For 8 points of bludgeoning damage.
That's 16 points of bludgeoning damage, and it's destroyed.
Okay. So since I've reduced the creature to 0 hit points, I'm gonna use my little racial ability called Rampage, and move up to half my speed. Actually, I still have my movement too. So,
Yeah, you can move everywhere in this room right now.
I move 45 feet to the necromancer and give him a vicious bite.
Okay, make your attack.
15.
That'll just hit.
All right. 8 points of piercing damage. I was like,
okay, 8 points of damage. As you bite through the robes of one of his arms, he kind of pulls his arm back, and you get the taste of blood. And he leers at you.
Don't you leer at me.
I think that's your turn, dog.
That's it.
Jules.
Is that all the skeletons?
There's still one left.
I made sure to leave one, cleric.
Only is worth it for just one.
I mean, it's right in front of Chad.
No, I'll do something else. I would like to cast Hold Person on the necromancer.
Okay. Don't forget your thing, Mel, when it comes to your turn asking your question. So what's the saving throw?
16. It's a wisdom save.
Okay.
I want to talk to this dude.
Good duck. That is a fail.
Ha!
On the whole
He's
person.
paralyzed.
Yep.
And so we'll hold him for a little bit and say, Dog, we do want to talk to him first.
All right. That ends your turn then?
Yeah.
With Dog's mouth full of shoulder.
Mel, it is your turn. Do you want to go and ask your question before?
I do. I would like to know, are there any spells or effects currently affecting the creature?
There are. What is it? Boop doop. Does it give you? You get the. Have it written that you know the name of the spell, or you just know if there are?
It just I get to ask the question.
Are there any?
Yeah.
Okay. There are.
Cool.
There is a spell affecting him.
Neat. So as they charge at us with a blade, Mel is gonna cup her hands over her mouth and yell, "Gun! He's got a gun!" and try to get the civilians to move and hopefully get authorities' attention.
Okay. A few of them are like, "What's a gun?"
It's illegal. I assume people know what it is.
There are some people that do know what firearms are, and kind of are mildly curious. It doesn't have the same effect that it does in like the modern day, but I think people hear the shouts of panic and they see him with the sword, and you're yelling about something, and some people are like, "That's bad.
That's a sword. That's not a gun."
Yeah, some people begin to react to that.
Does that take my action? Because my goal here is to clear out as many civilians as possible.
I'll say no. That's not going to take an action unless you are specifically trying to invoke like a spell through doing so. We'll say that's just
No.
You're just yelling that as you begin to do whatever it is you're going to do.
Well, I don't want to do anything if there is even the slightest chance that I will hit a civilian instead.
What are you trying to cast?
I'm going to lightning lure him.
Oh yeah, you can do that without hitting a civilian.
Sweet. Taser glove, charge it up, and then I try and whip him. Whip him real
All right.
good.
Whip him good.
Here we go. That's a 13 plus whatever it is that I do to hit with that. It's an amount equal to... That doesn't tell me. Hold on. Oh, it's my spell attack. Okay. 21.
21 will hit.
Perfect. Get over here. He's pulled 10 feet in a straight line towards me. Also,
Okay.
I ran up to the difference. He's running at me, I'm running at him. It's very superhero style.
Okay. Yeah, you can run 30 feet towards him and pull him 10. Yeah, I'll say that's enough to get him close enough to do the zap.
To do damage. Thanks.
Yeah.
Okay, does it do 2d8? It does do 2d8 because I am over 5th level. 11 lightning damage.
All right, 11 points of lightning damage as you pull him in, and he is pulled right in front of you, and that the jolt of electricity surges through, and you hear kind of a muffled grunt of pain from underneath the cowl. Does seem that seems to get his attention.
Calm down now. We just want to talk. And I'm gonna try and stab him in the ribs.
Okay.
Stab.
What is that? 23 to stab with a dagger.
That'll hit.
What is that? Counterproductive.
Yeah. Come on, damn it, just want to talk, stab.
A little bit.
2 plus 2, 4 piercing damage.
All right, 4 pieces.
Mel's not the nicest person. She might be smart. She's not very wise, though.
She knows what she needs to be saying, just not what needs to back it up. Okay, so back in Tunnel Land, Chad, what are you doing?
Taking out Dragon Maru and gonna try and slash this skelly.
Okay.
Oh, does a 10 hit?
No. You slash down at it, and the skeleton just cracks to the side, and the blade just sinks into the dirt next to the skeleton.
Yeah, I don't know if a skeleton is worth a superiority dice, so I'm just gonna try and hit him again.
Okay.
Does a dirty 20 hit?
Yes, that'll hit.
Okay, let me get a d12. That is 8 slashing damage.
8 slashing damage. All right. A skeleton's still up.
Yep, because I do not have any bludgeoning weapons yet.
Yeah, you cut off one of its arms, but it is still kind of chattering. Its mouth twitching wildly at you.
Yep. That's it. I'm not gonna burn any of my stuff on just the skelly.
Okay.
But I will shift around to make sure it's between me, or that I'm between it and the necromancer and my allies.
Okay. That'll be Matthias's turn then. So back up in the stone quarter, you have drawn this person closer to you, Mel. Matthias kind of hearing your words, like, "Are we shooting? What am I doing?"
And Mel does not respond to this.
Okay. He is just going to. He's going to hex the person. With using one of his spell slots, and he'll hex his. I don't know. Strength. And then I guess he will shoot then. Yeah. Shoot 2 Eldritch blasts towards him. It's a 21 and a 9. So that misses. 8 points of force damage plus 1d6. 6. Okay, 14 points of damage. All right. That's the end of Matthias's turn. Hilda.
Okay, Hilda's like, wait, why are we shooting? We just want to talk to him, don't we? And is going to cast Hold Person.
Okay.
Oh.
gonna pull out Bound and
Oh, classic.
yeah. So this person needs to make a wisdom saving throw.
That's a fail.
I like these little strike teams.
Yeah. All right. So that's sort of like the spell like weaves around and be like, you can let them go, Mel. He's not going
Okay.
anywhere for a moment.
She legit could not have held him anyway.
That's going to end Hilda's turn. Necromancer's turn is held. However, as he's being held, you watch as the bones in front of you begin to kind of clatter and then reform themselves as the two skeletons that were destroyed pull themselves back together.
He does get to make a save at the end of his turn.
Yeah, and then he makes a save at the end of his turn. Wisdom saving throw. That's a 21. So he will succeed on that, but he had to waste his turn drooling. At the end of his turn is the assassin's turn. Before he goes, though, Mel and Hilda, what are your passive perceptions?
Mine is 10.
Passive, it's 12.
Okay. You don't see where it comes from.
Matthias?
But yeah, I don't think Matthias does either. He doesn't really have a good
Something happens.
wisdom.
Are we the
No.
nerdy low whiz group?
Yeah, he's got an 11.
Great.
Or 12 on his, so not great. So you don't see where it comes from, but you do see a shimmer. What level is the whole person again? Level 2?
It is second.
Second level?
Second level.
You don't see where it comes from, but you watch the magical essence, this spell that is currently affecting him. The whole person breaks as it is dispelled by some unseen force. That'll make it his turn now. And
Friend.
he is going to stab you, Mel.
That makes sense. It's only fair.
First attack against you. That's only an 8, so that'll miss.
Phew.
Second attack is a 15.
AC 16.
Nice. Okay. So tries to stab at you twice, but is off balance, and even though he's broken out of the effect, is still kind of reeling from it. He's going to use his bonus action to disengage, and he is going to move 30 feet away from you. That will be back to the skeleton's turns. We're going to do some more attacks. I think one of them is going to be against... We're just going to split up the 3. One of the skeletons goes to dance with each of you. So first one against... turns around and attacks dog. It's a 20 to hit. For 6 piercing. Against Chad, that's a 21 to hit.
Yep.
For 7 piercing. And Jules has a 23 to hit.
Here.
For 3 piercing. Skeletons brought their A game today.
All right.
That ends their turn. Dog, it's on you.
Okay, so what I'm gonna do is, oh boy, there's everything I have will hurt everyone. And I'm trying to think if dog cares. But I'm just singular purpose. I'm gonna womp on a dog, just like with I think teeth still thematically sunk in. It's gonna womp on. With a 12, that's not gonna hit, I don't think, and a natural 20.
That'll hit against the necromancer.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
19, and then he is also gonna cast Hex. If there's a verbal component, he will reluctantly release the rest, but again.
Okay. Yeah,
Flavor-wise.
you just like as your teeth are dug into the necromancer's forearm, you just kind of mutter the incantation, and he is hexed.
Okay. an extra 5 necrotic damage to him.
Since you didn't hex him to the end of your turn, you only get the
It's only
damage.
if it's already there. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Awesome.
But on your next attack, you can get
Nice.
the hex damage.
Perfect. All right. That's it.
Jules, it is your turn.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna look at the necromancer and say, well, we tried to do it the easy way. I will pull my holy symbol of Yethis out from my armor, and I'm going to do channel divinity.
Mm-hmm.
Turn undead. So they all have to make a wisdom saving throw.
Okay, skeleton's gonna be real wise here. First one. Nope. Second one. Nope. Third one. 15?
Nope, 16.
Damn it. Nope's all the way around.
Are they
all three.
challenge rating 1/2 or lower?
Yep.
One way to find out.
You watch as instead of being broken apart, all three of them dissolve away into ashes and are sort of vaporized as this blast of divine light comes out from Jules.
It's just a little like tinted blue, like a light blue, like a nice blue. Well, it's not nice for them, but it's nice for me.
Yeah. You raised your hand, Ryan. Was there something?
Yeah, I forgot. I also targeted his charisma.
Charisma.
Yeah.
Okay. Jules, that's your action. Anything with your bonus action?
Yeah, I'm gonna oh yeah, because I can cast a spell, because that's not a spell. I'm gonna cast a spiritual weapon.
Okay, and I still don't have the token for it. Gonna do this.
It's like a bit at this point.
One of these days I will remember. Okay. Spiritual weapon forms. Go to make your attack with it.
Yeah. 25.
That'll hit.
Yeah, Jules is mad now. That's not very much damage. Well, 6 force damage.
Respectable.
To his face or the
All
side
right,
of his head or something.
Of course. The axe slams into the side of his head. Glances off. There's blood now coursing down as you get this glancing blow against him. He's still up, but he's looking starting to look kind of rough.
All right.
Yeah, the
Go
point
on,
where
then,
he might look rough.
I say.
Okay. And the Jules' turn. Back up to the stone quarter. Mel, this person has just made 2 attacks against you and then darted backwards. What do you do?
Oh, I don't think so. I'm going to run 20 feet, and then I'm going to attempt to lightning lure him.
Okay.
Oh, please. Yes, that's a 19 plus 8.
Double hit. Yep.
Great. Get over here. 10 feet towards me, and then gets zippity zap, zipped. Only for 5 lightning.
Okay.
And then I'm gonna stab him again, hopefully, with my dagger.
Okay.
Oh, nope, sure don't. That's an 8 to hit.
Nope, that'll miss. So 2 of you try to stab at each other. Both of you have a difficult time.
Great. That's my turn.
All right, Chad, your turn.
All right, stepping through the disintegrating skeleton, brandishing Dragon Maru, I'm gonna try and do me a chop
Okay.
over on the Necromancer.
Yeah, make your attack.
Well, that's a natural 1, so that D20 is going away.
Yep, that'll miss.
Which one was it?
One of my OG ones.
Okay, good.
Next attack. I'm using the legend point so that's not another natural 1.
Oh,
Okay.
no.
Roll again.
That looks like a 1, but it's actually a 7 plus 7 for 14.
That'll miss.
I'm going to do a precision attack to add a D8.
Okay.
Does a 17 hit him?
17 will hit.
Okay, so let me roll the damage. Oh, great weapon master, so I can re-roll that 1. That's much better. 15 slashing damage.
Nice.
And I'm also going to make this a goading attack, one of my new maneuvers from leveling up. So he needs to make a wisdom saving throw. And he also takes 5 more damage.
Okay, 5 more damage. Wisdom save. It's a 13.
That fails. Let me double check. I believe that fails. Because it's what, 10 plus. Yeah, if my strength is +3, that almost certainly fails, right?
What's your? I think
It should be 8 plus proficiency plus modifier, right?
Yeah, I think I think it just fails. I think yours is 14.
It's 8 plus 3 plus 3.
Yes.
Okay, so 8 plus 6, so that's 14. So yeah, it'll fail.
Yep. So I'm gonna say to him, "You done fucked up, but if you put down any of your casting stuff, leave the skeletons where they lie, maybe we won't chop your arms off right away." And he also, as part of goading attack, he has disadvantage on all attack rolls against anyone other than me until the end of my next turn.
Cool. Okay. Then it's Chad's turn. Back to the stone core of Matthias. Yikes. Okay. Matthias is going to see the person running away. Yeah, he's going to cast a guiding bolt at the dude with his action. Why did that? Okay. Well, that's a 12 to hit, so that will miss. So the guiding bolt goes streaking out and soaring over the head of the assassin. Doesn't hit anybody in the crowd, but misses. And Matthias goes, "Damn it!" And that's all he's got on his turn.
Have you actually? I don't think I've ever seen that spell work for you.
I don't think it works for anyone. Hilda, it's your turn.
Jules does it just fine. I've seen her kill like 5 people with that spell alone.
Hilda,
they're all standing in a line and really close together, but
Okay. I'm gonna have Pinger sort of search the crowd and try to see if there's anybody who seems to be involved in this, who might have cast the spell.
yeah, have Pinger make a perception check.
Pinger's looking around on the roof, and they get advantage on things that rely on sight. Oh, but he rolled so bad. He rolled a 2 and a 3.
Yeah, Pinger looks around and does not see anybody. He does not see where the spell is coming from.
Okay. And then...
But wait, is Pinger feeling legendary?
Up to you.
That
was mostly a reminder for all of us that those points exist.
Yeah, they do exist.
Yeah. Okay, for Tilda's action, she's gonna be like, "Wait a minute," and is gonna try to cast Hold Person again.
Okay. Hold Person.
At 3rd level this time.
Okay.
Kind of like rings the same bell again, but in a slightly more complicated pattern.
That is a 12.
Nope.
So he is now held again.
Okay. And then is going to like keep running towards him. Probably not as fast because
Okay.
she's not as quick with her little legs.
All right. So he is held. It is the necromancer's turn. Shit, he is looking bad. He standing there, seeing the skeletons destroy, looking at all of you, realizing what happens. You just see this cruel smile curl across his face. And he says, well, I suppose the others will have to take care of you then. And he sends a kind of twists his hand in the air, and you see in the center of all of you this little dark speck forms, and then it explodes outward until this ritualistic looking circle expands across the ground and covering the entire interior of the cellar as a circle of death opens up in this room. I need you all to make a... Why doesn't it say the saving throw? Oh, Constitution saving throw.
Uh, 22.
Succeeds.
22, because I rolled a natural 20.
Succeeds. Dog was...
Do I have a legend point? Am I a legend one?
You do. All the players do. So you can use it to re-roll pretty much any dice you
Oh, yeah, that's the dice that I'm going to re-roll. Okay. And so I'm starting with a 12. Let me reread this thing. So using Dark One's own luck, I'm going to try to add a d10 to this.
Okay.
It's like whenever ability check or saving throw, you can add it.
Ooh.
Not 16 total.
16. Hold on. That succeeds. So he's the only one that fails against his own spell.
Oh, sucks to suck, I guess.
So you all take 12 points of necrotic damage on a success.
All right.
He takes the full 25 and he dies. But that's what he wanted the whole time, so he's happy with that. As like this dark pallor takes the shade of his skin, and he collapses into the corner with that same smile across his face, not knowing whatever you guys might have in store for him in death. That is going to end his turn. That brings it to the assassins. No effects on him. You don't see the spell is not dispelled. You do see a glow sort of around him as some of his wounds heal. And that's going to be okay. But otherwise he's still held, and then he makes another saving throw at the end of his turn. That's Nate, so he fails. Skeletons are dead. So there's no immediate threat in the cellar. So we're going to you guys can take a collective action in the cellar, and then we'll go back to the combat that's happening up top. What do you guys do with your 6 seconds?
Is the circle's gone, right?
Circle's gone. Yeah.
Okay.
It burned out after the spell was cast.
Okay.
Well, if we really want to speak to him, I have something for that.
And then we look at you and we're like, oh, and then we cut to commercial.
Chad is just going to use his second wind to heal up a little bit.
Okay. Okay. So you begin to cast your Speak with Dead is what you want to do?
I'll do False Life.
Oh, there you go.
Why not?
Jules?
I mean, I can heal you guys first if you're desperate.
Well, that won't hurt me because I'm just adding temp HP.
Yeah, and besides, I get second wind back after a rest.
Yeah,
so
then I'm gonna cast Speak with Dead, which I think is just an action, which I'm looking. Yes, it is. It's an action. So I'll start casting Speak with Dead and just tell Dog and Chad that I can ask him 5 questions. So think about it over the next 6 seconds or so and get back to me.
First question. Do you regret your choices?
Yes.
Does this haircut look good on me?
Sorry, cats being butts. Okay, so you you begin to cast Speak with Dead on him. We'll do the questions here in a second, because what I want to do is go back to the group that's up top. He failed a saving throw, so he is still held. There's still somebody around that has healed him from a distance, but you still don't see where they are. So that puts it to Mel. What are you doing?
He's held. Gonna assume Hilda and Matthias can deal with this guy, maybe. I'm not good at looking for, like, things that aren't just, like, details. See the trees, not the forest. I'm gonna hold my action.
Okay.
If I see even the beginning glimmers of magic, or like hear someone try to cast from that general direction, and I have probable cause that it's that person.
Okay.
I'm going to acid arrow them.
Okay. So the difficulty here is that you're going to need a perception check to see them, even if they begin casting the spell, or unless it falls, unless their sleight of hand is going to fall below your. So you're just relying on if their check falls below your passive perception that you're going to attack that direction.
Answer me this. If I don't see them do it, do I still lose the spell slot?
You are concentrating on the spell right now, so you'll either have to do it or you will lose the spell slot at some point.
Just kidding. Fine. I'm just gonna cast Detect Magic on myself, and I'm gonna look for them that way.
Okay, so you cast Detect Magic and you stay there in the vicinity. I'd say that'll put up sort of a radar around you where you'll be able to detect. It's gonna be easier for you to tell where the spell is coming from if there is another spell.
Perfect.
All right. Excuse me, I have to murder a cat. It is going to be Matthias is also going to hold Hilda. What do you want to do?
Let's see. I'm going to take out some rope and I'm going to try tying this guy up. So I don't know how long this spell will last.
Okay. So you start to tie him up.
Like, Matthias, help me with these.
Okay. Matthias he didn't get to do anything with his action, so he also starts to help tie them up. That'll bring it to their turn again as you're beginning to tie them. I'm going to make another wisdom saving throw. That's the 9, so he fails again.
Nope.
So, yeah, here's what happens. Mel, you are concentrating on your detect magic and trying to sense where any sort of effect is coming from. You feel something with the sort of illusion school of magic enter your radius. As you see, looks to be a small child kind of stepping out of the crowd that kind of looks very timid and looks like they are kind of cutting through your kind of close to you guys. You wouldn't have thought anything of it except for the fact that you have your detect magic and you can sense some sort of illusion currently on this individual.
Excellent. Thank you for that information.
The child gets close enough within the 30 feet and so that you're detecting them and so they can do their thing. And they cast... Well, I need for Hilda and... Yeah, Hilda and Matthias, both of you guys are going to need to make wisdom saving throws.
Ooh, a wisdom save. Okay, let's try this one. That's my mod for that.
All right. Well, weird flex, Matthias. He rolls a natural 20.
Weird flex.
Okay, that's a 9.
You are held.
Oh no!
Which I don't think breaks your concentration on the other spell. So you're being held and holding somewhere else, and this is getting weird. But suddenly Hilda just locks into place and stops moving. Mel, what do you do?
What do I know about hold person?
The base, you know it's easier to hit them. They're paralyzed for a certain period of time, and
paralyzed, you say?
Yep.
I go like this to the child, back up a little bit, pull out some tinctures, just like smear it across Hilda's face and cast Lesser Restoration and unparalyze her.
Okay.
Oh,
I think that's what Lesser Restoration does, right? That's Lesser Restoration, isn't it? Isn't it? I should look this up. Isn't it?
I don't know. You need to look it up.
you just putting stuff on my face.
Yes, it is. Blinded, deafened, paralyzed, or poisoned. Yeah, just like basically a lotion, just like.
Mel just wants to rub Hilda's face. We get it.
Yeah.
Okay. You step back and cast the Lesser Restoration on Hilda. Hilda, you are no longer paralyzed. The child sees you looking at them and realizes the jig is up.
I'm gonna have Theory spit acid at the child. That's my bonus action.
Make your bonus action attack.
Oh. Theory's feeling legendary because that was a natural one.
Okay.
I assume I can spread my legend point to the thing that I created.
Sure. Yeah.
Thanks, great. That's a 19, so a lot.
I'll hit.
Okay, great. Oh no, what does he roll for damage? Oh, 6. 8 acid damage.
Okay.
Now
Okay,
I have a
nice.
question for you.
Yeah.
I have a thing as an artificer, alchemist specialty, that I do extra acid damage. Is that just me, or would that also affect my homunculus?
I'll need to look at it. You can go ahead and deal the additional damage right now, but we'll look at it
No,
later.
never mind. Sorry, I just read it harder. It says when I cast a spell.
Oh, there you go.
Okay.
Now you know.
Now he takes 8 acid damage.
Okay, 8 points acid damage. All right. Hilda, you were briefly paralyzed. Now you are no longer paralyzed.
Like
You see the child over there that has cast a spell on you and Matthias. What do? Do you continue tying, or do you want to do something else?
I'm going to finish tying, but as a bonus action, I'm going to whistle a little bit and inspire Mel.
Okay.
I have a question for you, Sean.
Yep.
Does taking the acid damage do anything to, concentrating on an illusion at all?
No.
Dang it.
No, it's not concentration.
Oh, I had hopes.
Nope.
Nope, no hope.
That'll end Hilda's turn. All right, so here's what's going to happen. Realizing that they have been discovered, they come darting up in front of all of you. The little child on the ground, or what looks like a child, probably not. They lay a hand on the assassin in front of you, and also cast a spell. And the assassin begins to move underneath the bindings. No longer paralyzed. And it is his turn, and he is going to use an acrobatics check to try to break free of the grapple that you have on him with the.
But his
binding.
strength has been hexed.
Acrobatics.
Acrobatics.
dang
is- I know, I thought the same thing. I was like, Matthias, yeah! Aw.
It's all right.
Yeah.
Dang it, Matthias.
That's going to be enough to succeed, definitely. So
Dang
he he rests himself through the bindings. He kind of like contorts himself and uses a dagger to slash through one of the cords and kind of rolls off. As he does, the cowl drops backwards and revealing his face, and you see a drow gentleman standing before you. He is a young adult, pretty young, even for a drow. He has his head is shaved on one side, and his hair is pulled up in a top knot. And you see a collection of piercings that are currently on the ear of his one exposed side of his head. And as he rolls free and he glares up at all of you, doesn't say anything, but he grabs the child and begins to run. What do you do?
Mel is stricken and very upset that she doesn't have certain spells prepared today. Oh boy. Shoot. Oh geez. I don't have a lot at my disposal. And I'm very weak. I'm gonna chase after him.
Okay, so just chasing after on foot.
For now.
Okay, the rest of you, or I guess just Hilda. I get to drive when Matthias does.
Yeah.
Oh.
I think basically Mel like gasps and like looks super pale
Oh,
and then just starts like sprinting after him.
okay.
Thanks, Ryan, for illustrating. Full Tom Cruise run. Thank you.
Okay. Hilda is going to try to chase after. Meanwhile, pulling out a smallish spell and is going to cast Major Image, sort of further down the line and sort of the direction that the person is running, and going to make it look like two sort of city guards are like coming like towards them.
Okay.
Let's see, I'm trying to, let me click it because I think I can also make it talk too.
Okay.
Okay, yeah, I can make it look like it's walking and it makes different sounds. Even making it carrying on a conversation, so I could have them be like, stop.
Okay.
It stops the person.
All right, so I think this is what happens. You start running forward. The drow that you are running after, I think, hesitates for a second as the guards come around. And you see them, they use their action to draw a crossbow and fire at the illusory guards.
Oh, dang. All right.
And the arrow passes right through them with the illusion, and they do have to use their action, so they're not able to use their action to dash this turn. But he does fire, realize what's going on, and then uses his bonus action to dash. So you maintain pace with him for that round, Mel. Hilda, you fall behind because you only have 25 feet of movement, right?
Yeah, exactly.
As you reach the end of the street, Mel following him around the corner, and he's beginning to head towards the edge of this district and towards what you see is like the top part of the wall that surrounds the city.
Are we in an alley of some kind, or
you're on a main street right now?
Okay, how much space is between, like, from one structure and another in this street?
Probably about 40 feet.
Shoot. Okay. Basically, I'm going to keep sprinting after him, and as soon as there's an opportunity, like a lamppost or some other fixed structure, I'm going to cast web and try and catch him between two fixed
Okay, we roll web
two-
for me.
two cards.
Yeah.
Two cards rolling.
Because it has to be two fixed structures.
Okay, 20-foot cube for the obscure the web's anchored between solid masses. Okay, it doesn't have to be anchored. You can just cast it in front of him, and then he has to make the save.
Oh yeah, okay. Whatever I need to. Yeah, that. I want to catch him.
Yeah.
So she like pulls out a whole bunch of tinctures and things.
Oh, I see what it's saying. Okay, yeah, you can layer it across the floor. Yeah. So
yeah, I will do that.
All right. He has to make a dexterity saving throw.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. Where's that? That is a 20.
Shoot. Okay.
So the webs hit the ground, and I think as it covers the ground in front of him, you see him leap it. Like the child is still on his back, and he's like carrying them like a small child, piggybacking, and he leaps up and actually kind of runs across like the fence post on one side of the street,
so cool.
and then lands on the ground the other side of the 20 feet. Does avoid the webs, and keeps running forward, and he starts to gain more ground on you using both his action and his bonus action to dash this turn.
Mel just screams like, "Hilda, Matthias, we have to catch him!"
I'm doing my best.
He does dart around a corner in front of you, breaking eye contact or eyesight with you for a moment, Mel. And were there any spells you wanted to try to cast before he does that? Because you have a moment to do so.
Freaking grease, I guess.
Okay. Freaking grease.
So, just right in front of him, I'm gonna make a 10-foot square of grease.
All right.
He's good at the dex, but hopefully not this time.
Okay. That's a 9, so that does succeed. He starts to run again around this corner, and he falls prone. So on that next turn, he has to use half his movement to get up. He's much slowed down, only able to move half his movement speed that round, so you gain a little bit more distance on him as he's closing in on the wall, darts behind a few buildings, but you are actually able to maintain eyesight on him. I want to do in this moment is I actually want to cut back to the other group as this is going on.
Yep.
As you're casting your spell. I'm going to take us down from the music here a little bit. Unaware of what's going on the surface, you have this dead body in front of you, and as you finish casting your Speak with Dead spell, Jules, the body of the very recently deceased necromancer begins to stir and sort of pulls itself back up from the corner for a moment, and its head straightens, and he looks around and then locks eyes with you, almost as if he doesn't see anything else in the room but you. And other than the fact that you know he's dead, he almost looks alive again. What would you like to ask?
Well, first I would like to cast one more spell.
Okay.
Because I checked, and I can. I cast Zone of Truth.
Okay.
I think it's a charisma saving throw. Dang, it's a charisma saving throw.
Charisma saving throw. Oh, it's just going to be a flat roll.
It's a 15-foot radius, so probably that gets everyone, but it's like a 30-foot circle.
Okay. Want the other two? Want the rest of you make your make your?
Do I have to make one? Probably.
You're a creature within the radius, so yeah.
Charisma, is that what you said?
Yeah.
I only got a 12, so I failed.
This is
I failed too.
be bad for me. Check, I rolled another natural 20.
Nice.
I'm killing it. 21 for me, so yeah, I win. Against my own spell, I guess. That's. Yep.
And you know whether they succeed, right?
Yes.
Okay. He resists the spell.
Dang it. Okay. You guys just be quiet, I guess. Okay. So I will look to him. And I just want to just clarify for me, because it's been a little bit. His robes that he's wearing have like a big eye on them, right?
Yeah, they do.
Okay. Then I would like to ask him. I really wanted to be sassy, but I'm not going to do it. So, who is your master? Who do you report to?
His head sort of cocks to the side as he looks at you. He says, he's not compelled to tell the truth in the normal spell. Can you put up the details of the Speak with Dead? If you haven't already. Perfect, thank you.
Yeah, he knows what he knew in life. It's under no compulsion to offer a truthful answer.
Okay.
What about this not truth is for, but
Sure. I think he answers your question with another question. And he says, why would I tell you that?
I don't know.
He didn't cast Speak with Life.
I mean,
You're under no compulsion to answer truthfully.
I am under no compulsion to answer truthfully. I mean, you're dead. And it seemed like you wanted to be, so I just assumed, maybe we could have a friendly chat. But, your choice.
Kind of, again, Cox to his side says, I'm familiar with this magic. I'm no novice.
Well, you seem pretty novice at staying alive, so...
I may be willing to offer you information. Quid pro quo.
I don't speak Elvish, I'm sorry.
You do something for me, I do something for you.
You would have to tell me what that is first before I agreed to it. Trying so hard not to phrase it as a question.
Fine, I won't count this as part of your questions.
It wasn't a question.
He says, all I ask is that you leave my body here. Untouched.
Dang it.
Unmutilated.
As he's just his wrist is still in God's mouth, just like it's like being gently touched. This conversation.
Dog.
Mm-hmm.
Drop him, please. Please. Thank you.
And one other thing. I ask for your name.
I'm tempted to ask why.
In case you don't fulfill your side of the agreement.
Which is leaving you here. You know I have no control over what anyone else does with your body after we leave.
No others should enter this place. If you ensure that my body is undisturbed, I ask for your name as leverage.
Okay. Juliana.
Juliana.
Oh, I'm sorry. You said you weren't a novice. Juliana Valaris.
You may ask your questions.
Can you answer the one I already asked? Or,
That's 2 questions. Yes, I can. No, I'm not going to do that.
I'll quit right now.
No,
like,
he says...
Ask me one more time.
He says, I follow the order of the Lone Eye. My master, I have many. Foremost among them is now the Bandit King.
I thought so. So what is the Eye trying to accomplish? What's your goal? What are you trying to do?
We seek what we have always sought. Power, influence, leverage.
Where do the vulnerabilities of the eye lie? Where are you vulnerable? What are you scared of?
That would depend on each member of the order. We are not so insulary that our vulnerabilities are the same.
But you share a common goal.
I suppose the loss of power.
What do you know about the Bandit King?
Not much. They are an enigmatic figure. Began leveraging their own influence not too long ago. Matter of a decade. Not much longer. They've been consolidating power within the organizations that have agreed to serve them. And crushed all others. None that I know have met this person. And I do not know where their alliances or reasons or motives lie. But I do know this is that they are a terrifying entity that transcends the mere pettiness of warlords and the rest of the barbaric rabble which seek to gain and consolidate power. They seek something far greater than that. Ruin of Ishvornin and the Duke. Lost count. How many was that?
I have one more.
One more. Okay.
How can we find him? The Bandit King. I'm going to assume, based on your last answer, that you don't know where they are, so.
The leaders of our order receive their instructions through some means. I'm not entirely sure what. If seeking an audience with the Bandit King is your inevitable goal, I suppose you would have to ask one of them. But beware. I am sure ruin lies for you along that path. And the body begins to collapse and return to its undead state.
Okay. I hate that.
Back up to Mel and Hilda and Matthias. Mel, you are chasing the the drow, gentleman, through the city streets. He is rounding the last corner to a straight shot, one of the main thoroughfares that leads to the walls, and you see him running headlong towards the wall. What do you do?
I feel like Hilda and Matthias haven't been able to do anything for a while.
Hilda's way far behind.
Oh,
you.
she is?
I'm
Yeah.
way far behind, but I would have been like, Panger, follow them.
Yeah, you can see Panger is now falling behind. Hilda's, your move is only 25
Oh,
feet.
that's right. She's a little bad.
Yeah, she's
I'm
falling
very-
behind.
I could, yeah. But Panger can fly how far?
He's probably got a 60 feet, probably, I would imagine.
Most birds do.
60 feet, yeah.
Yeah, so Panger can definitely keep up. Panger can do something if you want Panger to.
He can only assist in things. He can't attack or nothing.
You can cast spells through him, though.
I don't have any touch spells.
Dang it. I'm not mad. This is fine.
Yeah, and I think you can only cast spells if he's within a certain radius of you, but I'm not sure. But either way, if you don't have any touch spells, you can. Is there anything that Panger can do?
Just keep a bead on this guy.
I love
Okay.
that. Do that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Do that. Any last ditch effort, Mel?
Yeah, I'm gonna make sure I'm 20 feet away. And I'm gonna try and lightning lure him. So that he
Okay.
won't get shocked. I'm far enough away that he won't get pulled enough close enough to me to get shocked, but I'm trying to yoink him back towards me. Does that make sense?
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So the max range is 20 feet on your lightning lure.
I guess it's 15. So I guess I'm gonna be 15 feet away because then it pulls him 10 and he has to be right next to me to get shocked.
Here's what I'll say. So the way your turns have been going, you've been having to use your action every turn to dash.
The
to keep up.
dash. That's right.
In order to, I will allow this in an effort to one final attempt to try to make an attack against him to attempt to hopefully get him close the distance. If you miss on this, then yeah, he's going to be able to dash and move, and he's going to be far away from you. I'm kind of messing around with the turn order because you probably have to dash to get to the point to do that. But I'll allow it in this case. So you can do that, but this is going to be all or nothing.
Okay. Alternatively, could I get close enough to him to touch him, to just tap him, or is he too far ahead from me for that?
That's going to be pushing it to try to get within touch radius of touch distance of him.
Well, then this is my last chance. I don't even have a legend point.
Oh
Oh, 13 plus 8, 21.
That'll hit. So you do hit him and you drag him back towards you. So you are now neck and neck. What do you do in that moment?
I'm gonna try and get in front of him so that he has to see me to look wherever he's going, and I'm going to sign his name and my name.
Okay. Make a persuasion check.
Oh no. Charisma 0.
Inspired.
I am inspired. Good, because I was only a 10. What's the dice?
It's a D6.
Please. 11?
11. He stares at you with a look of unfamiliarity.
No.
He doesn't seem to have any idea who you are right now. And that's a natural 20.
Oh.
You take... Jesus. You take 14 points of piercing and 50 points of poison damage.
Wait, sorry, what were those numbers?
14 points of piercing and 50 points of poison damage.
Oh yeah, I am unconscious.
Hilda, you come around in the corner with Matthias just in time to see Mel lying on the ground. And you see the drow boy at the end of the street look over his shoulder one last time and then around the corner and disappear out of sight towards the wall.
Oh man. Oh no, Mel! Grundle run up there. And cast cure wounds.
Okay, yeah, you can cast Cure Wounds easy enough and restore some hit points. Not enough time has passed for any to worry about making death saves or anything. So,
Okay.
You come back to consciousness, Mel.
You get 12 hit points back.
Mel jerks and like looks around.
Are you okay? What happened? I couldn't see. You were on the ground.
Is he gone?
Yeah, I mean, I'm trying to send Pengar after him, but he went into the city. Further in it. Hang on. And then it's gonna try to like look through Pengar's eyes to see if Pengar was still able to follow this guy.
Yeah, Pengar makes a perception check.
Okay.
And Mel, you just feel in the side, and the last thing you remember is feeling that dagger kind of slip in between your ribs, and you can feel like it's kind of healed over, but you feel that pain there.
Yeah.
Okay. Pengar got not very good. A 9.
9. Okay. I think in this moment, Pengar is not able to find or see where this drow is gone.
Okay. Then like Hilda's gonna like come back into her and be like, I think we lost him. I'm darn.
No. Nope.
No?
Not this time.
What do you mean? I mean, I'm sure we'll catch him. There's got to be a little hearty somewhere in the city now.
Hilda?
Yeah?
That was my brother.
No shit, really? You never said you had a brother.
No, I didn't. I've been trying to find him.
Why was he attacking then?
He doesn't remember me.
Oh.
I remember him, and I'm going to find him. And I'll take him home to our mother. And he will be fine. So find the others.
Okay. Hilda's gonna like grab Mel and give her a hug. We'll figure it out.
Without making a noise, Mel just sobs. Just like crying heavily.
Yeah. It's gonna sort of like, it's okay. We'll figure it out.
And then Mel realizes that Matthias is still there and just kind of like turns so he can't see her.
Matthias just kind of like looking around like, I didn't hear any of that. But you do feel kind of a little bit of warmth. And he uses equals to your charisma fire. Hold on, how many can he spend? 1 plus warlock low. Yeah, he spends all of them. So that's gonna be 23 points of healing to you.
Oh, thanks, buddy.
But let's cut away from that moment for a second back to the group below. You're just finished asking these questions. And we'll just say you all heard the answers. It's going to be easier that way.
Is that it?
Yeah, that's it.
All right.
If you want to try to stop, you can, but he's going to try to smash the thing's head.
I try to stop him.
Okay. Do we need to roll for it, or does dog...
No, he's gonna keep going for it. So
let's do a contested strength check just between the two of you.
Okay. Check. how do I roll checks again? Oh, good. I guess I'll just use normal die.
And Jules, if you still have a legend point, you can use that.
That's not good. That's 11.
Oh, I rolled a 12.
You rolled a 12?
Oh, you win.
So yeah,
Nice.
it is a very close combat between the two of you. But Jules, you stop and you stop them all with both hands, kind of saying you feel your shoulder kind of crack a bit, like pop in place, but you hold him and keep him from slamming down.
What are you doing?
What part of leave the body alone did you not understand?
The path where we do what he says.
Well, you're not the one in danger here, so cool it. Heal or whatever.
There'll be plenty more of these eye bastards for you to take care of. Promise you the hunt is not over.
No. It's not.
And I give a hearty kick to the body.
Okay. Kick the body. And Jules explodes. No, just kidding.
Dog goes, sweet! Give
did
a
it.
hand.
Then I pick up the body, make it dance and stuff. Oh no!
The
Okay.
voodoo doll spell.
So, anything else you guys want to do down there, or are you guys done?
I mean, now that there is a moment, Chad would point out the scraps, the labels, or whatever they were on the container, see if either of them can read it. But other than that, I think it's time to head out.
Can we take the robe?
Take the robe.
Yeah. Does that fall under the purview of being unmolested? Like what is that?
I mean, I guess it's not technically part of the body.
Okay. Also checking pockets for basically I'm just looking for any clues of where the rest of them are and what they're doing.
Okay.
Trinkets, keys.
You can make an investigation check. Anyone else here that wants to search around the room can make an investigation check.
I'm so bad at investigation. I love
I'll
it.
do one.
Okay.
I rolled a 14, so that's an 11.
20.
20. Nice.
Just
So you
pulling things off, like throwing on the floor.
you find in his so searching around, you found you said a 20 jewels. Okay. I'll do what Dog finds. So Dog searching around through the pockets. You don't find much. The robe that he is wearing. He has his wand, simple wand, spell book, and you also find a small key in one of his pockets. The head of the key, or the at the top of it, has a question mark printed into it.
I'm just imagining it's like, I don't remember where this goes to. I'll make a note of it and just get back to it and find out. It's like he gets to his apartment. He's like, oh, not this one. It's not that. Anyway, cool.
And Jules, you search around the rest of the room, or are you searching the body?
The rest of the room, I guess.
Okay.
Any
What language?
Tattoos or questionable moles?
No,
Okay.
nothing like that. Jules, what languages do you speak?
Primordial.
Primordial. Okay.
Yeah.
You also don't understand the
Oh, I guess common too.
Yeah. Oh, it was
You knew
common
that
the whole
one.
time. Chad just forgot common.
Dang it, Chad.
You look through there's a lot of stuff in these crates. Some like raw materials, like some of them just have like dirt in them, like kind of a reddish colored dirt. Some of them have like different sort of spices in them. I don't think any of you really, I mean, you don't trade enough illicit substances to like know what these are off the top of your head, but it's just stuff in here. You do find in one of the, with that investigation check, in one of the crates, there's some like straw in there, and you root through the straw a bit, and inside is a small black box.
I'm gonna pull it out.
Okay. You pull it out. It's about like 2 feet and 1 foot. It's fairly heavy, and it sounds like there's something inside of it.
Is it locked?
It does have a lock on the front, yes.
But it's an ampersand. We gotta find another key.
Well, I found this. Dog, you find anything?
Yes,
Oh,
the chemist right here.
okay. Try the key.
Okay. Try the key. I need you to roll a D100 for me.
Oh god. Why does this always happen to me? It's a 43?
Okay. Key does not open the lock.
Should I try giving my luck with D100s?
You can certainly try.
I don't. It wouldn't make sense for Chad to also try it.
So no, man, you gotta jiggle it.
Well, it was a good try.
Do you want? With a spell book? The stick?
I think we know some friends who might.
Gonna turn Hilda into a necromancer.
Can I keep the stick?
I don't see why not.
Just chewing on it thoughtfully while we're doing this.
Okay.
I think off like to the side, if Chad's not paying attention at any point, I think Jules will just be like, "Dog, I'm sorry I was nasty to you. I feel bad about it."
That's okay.
Okay. You can keep the stick.
Thanks.
Thanks for your help.
Unless the wand has some properties that prevent this, eventually the wand snaps in half because he chews through it.
Yeah, no, it's not a magic wand.
Okay. Yeah, he chews through it.
All right. So you don't open the box. You're gonna take it back to Hilda and Mel.
Yeah.
Okay. We can go and do that.
And the spellbook.
Performance. So we'll say you guys regroup back at the inn. Mel, and are you good now, or is there any? Do they notice anything?
Oh, Mel, like totally. Like she pulled out her disguise kit, like used some powders and some stuff.
Okay.
Yeah.
Get the redness down.
Like nothing happened. Oh.
Okay. So you all gather back. Maybe I think Mel and Hilda are probably back there first, and then
Oh, Jules is a little banged up, I guess. Oops.
Well, I don't know if we skipped anything important, but I imagine we would have gone up the ladder. Where did that take us?
Oh, yeah, if you want to go up the ladder.
Yeah.
Yeah, you go up the ladder and into this like very tight, like 3x4 little space, and there's like a shovel and a pick, and you open the door. It's just a little shed, like out behind the building, that it seems to be constructed or placed here for the specific purpose of concealing this escape tunnel.
Is it behind the smithy?
Yeah.
Okay, so we didn't go all that far.
No, not that far. Maybe 60 feet.
Good to know.
Yeah. Anyway, you're back at the inn.
Oh, what did you guys find out?
I gave Jules her diamonds.
Oh, thanks. Ow! There you go. My shoulder.
We ran into a necromancer from the eye.
Oh. Thank.
Yeah. Dog found his book.
Maybe I should take a look. Maybe there's some good.
Look in a book. Sorry.
Maybe there's some good spells in there I could potentially learn. Though necromancer, that's a bit of a nasty business.
Be careful. He was not nice.
Yeah, he tried to do this big magic spell to take us all out, but it only got him. So I don't know if I would trust his spells anyway. They don't seem very good.
We don't know if it was his spells or if it was him, but I mean, it was a little sad in the end.
It's very sad. It's tragic.
But we also found this key on his person, and we found, a place where they were smuggling things, and found this box that seemed interesting enough to hold on to.
Key doesn't go to the box, though.
But the box is locked?
Mm-hmm. I didn't want to smash it in case it was, like, more gunpowder or something.
I have
That's
just
probably
think
smart.
this. I pull out my thieves' tools that I'm also an expert in. And I'm going to try and pick the lock.
Oh god, I'm afraid something bad's gonna happen.
Actually, can I first look for trips?
Sure, make an
Good
investigation
point,
check.
Jules.
That was just Savannah saying, oh no.
Investigation, you say. 19 plus 8, 27.
Okay. There does appear to be an enchantment on this box.
Ooh!
It looks like the nature of which it looks like it might cause hurts to people around the box when it gets opened.
Ooh! It appears this box.
If it is not opened with the key that it would.
Oh!
Or
This
you can attempt to
box-
dispel it if you want to.
This is a very angry, mean box.
Well, maybe it's for the best it didn't open.
Yes, definitely. Hilda, do you happen to have the ability to stop the magic from happening? Do you?
Oh,
Not today
Husband.
anymore. I'm a
I can do
little
that tomorrow.
tired.
Matthias?
We can do that tomorrow.
No, can't do that.
I can wait till tomorrow.
Yeah, we can wait. It's I cast a lot of spells earlier.
Yeah.
As we were shopping, somebody was following us, and when we tried to confront them, they attacked us.
Ugh. Every time I go shopping, people follow me in the store too.
Are they following you, or are they just like going into the store too?
No. They follow me.
Is it the cops?
Well, I don't ask questions.
Well, you're alright. You look alright.
Do I? Like pushes back cloak and like gaping hole in shirt and armor, encrusted blood.
Oh,
Yeah, he
shit.
got Mel pretty good.
I mean,
Dog.
you're okay.
Yes,
Not
thanks
immediate
to
danger.
thanks to Hilda and Matthias, I am patched up.
Kind
Dog,
of gives like Mel a side eye.
dog. Are you? Do you like to track things by chance?
No,
You don't track things.
no.
Not like you smell something and then you go like find it. That's not the thing you do.
I mean, I'd like to do that if I can, but no.
Wait, you can't do that? Or you won't do that?
I was not very good.
Oh.
There's a long time ago.
And it points to all these like burns and things all over his face. And his like nose is kind of like half closed.
I don't smell that well.
Oh, Mel like holds out her dagger with like dried blood on it that she did not clean very specifically. And just, I was really hoping. Never mind.
All right.
Thanks though for that fun story.
I'm gonna assume whoever attacked you got away and you want to find them.
Yes.
Yeah, we tried to stop them, but they were pretty tricky. They also had a little kid with them who was also doing magic.
Probably not a little kid.
Good
It
point.
was-
I did not get a good close look at them.
They were covered in illusion magic at the time.
Ah, right.
I mean, everyone leaves tracks.
Yes, but we were running through busy streets and they are probably long lost by other boot faults now.
Well, I
But
mean,
we can find another way.
Yeah, I mean, we got a lot of decent information, and if they're
Yes.
part of this whole eye thing, then we'll find them.
Was his clothing in any way insigniaed?
The cloak that you saw was not, that you could tell. Also, don't gather they would probably wear that kind of stuff out in like the middle of the day.
Why not?
I can't have a bad guy. What's up?
At me, cops. Yeah, maybe. Who knows? We will certainly find out.
Anything else you guys want to do before calling it?
I mean, I think Chad has just been sitting very quietly upon seeing that Mel was so grievously injured, but has not said anything yet.
Yet. Mel's gonna get in trouble.
Yeah.
She's fine.
Hilda's gonna start looking at his book.
Okay. I'll give you a list. Well, there's a lot of spells in it. I'll give you a list of the spells that
Gimme.
you can learn.
That wizard feel.
So yeah, I will provide that to you
Okay.
after the game. It would probably take you a while to learn most of these.
Yeah, she just wants to kind of peruse it a little bit.
Anything else?
I mean, I want to look over Mel and make sure she's okay, but only if she'll let me.
Yeah, that's fine. I was able to walk here, but there was some sort of poison involved, which is very irritating.
Just let me take a look.
Then she starts like rattling off, like based on the sensation and the nerve damage at the time that was only healed by magic. I'm assuming it's this type of poison. It's just like nerds off about this poison.
I roll something?
Yeah, you can make a medicine check.
Okay.
Sorry, I didn't know you were actually trying to get it. That was just RP. Or you were
Set his hand. And
Can
and-
I roll something?
yes, you can roll something.
26.
Okay. Mel seems to be fine for the most part. I think you're very close back up to full.
Yeah.
Little dinged up. You don't see any signs that the poison is still active. Seems like whatever it was neutralized after the healing. So nothing immediately dangerous. But you can see this is a very precise, very, very expert strike for a vital point on her body. So whoever did this was very skilled.
Whoever hit you knew what they were doing, but yeah. You're alright. You're in no danger. No poison left, so good night's sleep. You'll be fine.
Thank you, Juice. I appreciate it. Good night. Walks away somberly.
Good night.
All right.
2 p.m. I don't know what time it is.
It's getting in the evening. Yeah, it's getting close there. You guys had a stressful day, so you can nod off and call it a night.
When we go back to our room and Mel's getting ready to go to bed, she'll tell Chad.
Okay.
She'll be like, the one that we saw in the streets and fought, picking
One
off
who
boots.
stabbed you? I'm going to kill him when we find him.
No, you certainly are not, because it was Paul.
Oh. Found him.
Out of him. He did not remember me. Clearly. Gestures to gaping wound. That is no longer gaping. But
Yeah, I mean, obviously I don't have... Well, actually, no, that's not true. I do have a brother, but I don't feel overly inclined to stab him, so yes, something must be up with him.
yeah, I tried to talk to him, but there was no recognition there. So, whatever it is that Lord Alabaster wants us to do, I am not inclined to leave the city anytime soon.
Yes, well, certainly have our work cut out for us with this Bandit King mess, and we will get Paul. We'll find him.
Thank you, Chad. Well, good night.
Yes, no more going off alone.
Okay. I wasn't
Yes.
alone. Hilda was there. Matthias was there.
Well, clearly
I'm
you
fine.
did something to get stabbed.
Yeah, well, it's not like I actually did kind of ask for it. I started it. But Hilda was there. It was fine. I asked first.
No more running off without me.
Okay. I can agree to that. As long as I'm still allowed to run off.
Yes.
Trigonometry. Okay, I'm going to bed now. I'm very tired.
Yes, you need your rest. Does Mel need an injury roll?
I do.
That just
You do.
suddenly.
Are you had one injury?
I
already.
did.
Okay. Yeah. Go and roll.
Is it Constitution? It doesn't matter. That was a 3 naturally.
Yep. So this is going to be a level 2 injury.
It was a D20 I was rolling, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. I'm so excited. Injuries are the best. Can I get an emotional injury, please? May I request?
Roll a d8 for me.
I will. 6.
Okay. Let's see. So the injury on a 6 is a severe concussion.
I did fall after getting stabbed.
After getting stabbed. So I'm double checking. Heals with magical healing of 3rd level or higher. 3 days pass without being knocked unconscious again. So you still have it. So essentially,
Okay.
we'll get into it. But if you take bludgeoning damage, you have to make a saving throw or become stunned.
Ooh,
Yeah.
I'm a big fan.
Yeah.
Would I have been able to warn Mel in any way that maybe
Hopefully.
she had a big
Yes,
old
with the
Good night,
medicine
Dad.
check.
I'm
With
totally
the medicine
fine.
check, you do warn her. She's safe to sleep. I think it's past at this, like she's out of the woods and has received enough healing at this point that it's not an immediate threat, but she is still suffering from it. So until she receives level 3 healing, which I think you guys were all tapped out on, unless anybody had the ability to cast that.
I have a couple of 3rd level spell slots up.
Okay.
I
If you
mean,
want-
I cast Cure Wounds at 3rd level when I did it.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
Okay. Then yeah, we'll just say that it's been healed. Then it's going to be trivial if one of you can heal it. So we'll
But
call it
you
at
got a
that.
crazy headache.
But you do have 2 levels of injury, which is the important thing. So if you go unconscious again, you're going to be rolling on the level 3 injury.
Yay!
Yeah,
So
and that's
exciting.
like losing arms and stuff.
Oh,
Oh no!
Well, something terrible just happened.
Are
I
you
tried to
still there?
click mute and click video. I'm so sorry.
That's fine
Concussion
because yeah, the concussion has confused everyone with the body swap episode. But no, that's what we're gonna call it for tonight anyway. So we don't have to worry about refixing all of that mess. Good game, everyone.
Charge now. I'm the dungeon master. What's up?
Yeah.
What's up?
Let me just. I'm going to kill this cat. That is.
I'm still dog. Wow. Nice.
Oh, are you? Oh, yeah, because you were here first.
Only half of us moved.
Was I here first? No.
Oh, after Alex. Oh, yeah. I guess I mean after me, including me.
Okay, we're just gonna.
I'm
I'm
Hilda.
gonna sign this off now as whoever I'm supposed to be at this moment.
Oh, you're
but-
Mel.
No.
Oh, there we
Have
go. Thank you everyone for watching. This was
Oh,
a
so nice.
clusterfuck at the end, as usual.
Lindsay.
Uh,
Language.
no, but this is great. Good session, everyone. We will be back a week from now with our next Saturday nights, 3:00 Eastern time again. To continue the mystery and this adventure. Join us in the meantime on Monday for Motley Mondays, where Alex is going to be running a game of 5th edition D&D. You can also join us tomorrow on Sunday over on Encounter Roleplay, or here we're going to be hosting it. Savannah's going to be running her next session of her Apocalypse World game, Apocalypse When, over on Encounter Roleplay at 3:00 or 5:00 Eastern time. Motley Mondays will be at 8:00 Eastern time. And then you can join us throughout the week with a whole variety of shows, the schedule of which is going to be pinned below on our Twitch page. So you can check out the details there.
Hey, Sean, chat
Yeah.
is requesting you do a French accent.
Shit, that's a big old negatory on that one.
If
It's
you
like,
want Sean to do Mel's accent, please visit our tipping page and donate.
Yes.
yes, if somebody donates like
Okay.
$50, then I will do Mel's
Does it have to be
accent.
one person, or is it like just a total?
Everyone, get all your friends to donate $1.
please.
Sure, whatever. $50 and I'll do a Mel accent for like
Yes.
10 minutes I'll do the whole intro of the next stream as to Mel. How about that?
I need this so much.
All right. That's what we're doing. Anyway, so thank you all for watching. We will see you next week. Join us for all of our good stuff. In the meantime, we have a giveaway going on right now. Details are on our Twitter. You can find a link to that below. Please enter, get other people to enter, retweet, all that sort of stuff. And we will see you next week. And until next time, good game and good night, Internet.
Good night, Internet.
Good night, Internet.
Go away.